A very good evening to one and all. Welcome to 360 TV's coverage of the ICWI Champions League Table Tennis Tournament 2023 out here at the Center of Excellence. And we have another splendid night of table tennis for you. I know a lot of you probably would have been witnessing tennis of this quality on a local station for the first time in many years. But I'm sure you would have been thrilled by it all and would be looking forward to more of the same come tonight. As you can see, we are getting ready for table number one. And on this table, the first table right in front of us here, we have the Legends are coming up against Queen's Park. Now, the Parkites, I remember they're riding high, so to speak, coming out of a national championship just about a week or so ago. And there is the young Imani Edwards-Taylor. And she would be hoping to get them off to a winning start. She's up against Arun Rupnarain, who is playing for the Legends. But Arun, of course, has also been able to represent Trinidad and Tobago with distinction over the years at the youth level. Coming into the senior level, you consider Arun and Wilson as two of the outstanding juniors over time, and I'm sure they'll be looking forward to another close and very fierce matchup if and when they meet, when Blasters would play the Legends. And so certainly a lot to look forward to here as well. And again, last night, Queen's Park took care of business against Crusaders and the Power Gen, so they're perfect 2-0 coming in. Blasters beat Justwin 3-0. Legends over Power Gen 3-0. And Wassa beat Guacara Table Tennis Club by a 3-0 margin. Again, Queen's Park beat Power Gen 3-0. Crusaders beat Arima Table Tennis Club 3-0. Justwin got the better of Guacara 3-0. And Blasters beat Wassa by a 3-1. There's Arun Rupnarain, and getting ready to take center stage, so to speak. And certainly a man with a tremendous amount of ability, and certainly one of those players who I'm sure will be looking forward to this outing. And he's up against a very talented youngster in the name of Imani Edwards-Taylor. And she, of course, will be hoping, like I said, to give Queen's Park a winning start. But she's up against a really talented Arun Rupnarain. So that is going to be a bit of a challenge for her. And no doubt we'll see what happens. Dave Ramuta is the umpire for this encounter. And he is going to get them going. Imani thinks she wants to use the eastern side to start things off. And Arun will probably be the one to receive first up. And let's see how they go from here. Both players were warming up with their respective teams a short while ago, but I'm sure now that they are on center stage, they probably just want to get a feel for the table as well, just to make sure that they get their eyesight in and get things working. Of course, the name Edwards is a very prominent name in local tennis. Alina Edwards and all the families, and starts, of course, with their dad, who was really the one who was driving table tennis in Trinidad for a number of years. Mom and dad, I should say. And of course, Aubrey Edwards is the name that comes readily to mind here in TNT. So we miss him, but I'm sure he would have been happy if you come to a venue like this and see this event taking place here, and able to really witness some of the top players in TNT. We have a couple players out of Guyana as well, and a couple from Barbados. So they have really put their hands up, and we certainly look forward to them doing great things here as well. So it's expected to be a nice evening again. It was raining outside earlier. I think it has stopped now, but that's not going to affect what is happening inside. And I'm sure these players are only too keen to get things started here this evening. We'll be joined in a little while by Stanley Hunt, the former president of the Table Tennis Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And as these players now get themselves nice and warm in the distance, just in the background, and we looking at another matchup there between PowerGen and Arima Table Tennis Club, and I'm sure they too would be trying to get themselves up and running as quickly as possible here this evening. And I was just speaking of the man, and I'm sure he'll be joining us in a little bit. So we should be on our way anytime soon here as well. So here we go, and already they are up quickly, 2 apiece here. It's again Arun Rupnarayan against Imani Edwards Taylor. And Imani trying her best here to get off to a quick serve, maybe get a quick service game in. So again, service change here, and Arun now. And that's a good forehand winner there for Imani. As I say, very good evening to Stanley. And Stanley, this must be like a dream come true to have a tournament of this nature here, as we look at these two doing battle here to start things off on the second night of action.
Well, it's a lovely venue. I think we'll definitely appreciate it. Mm-hmm. The air condition not yet on, I don't know, but
things are getting hot.
It was pretty cold last night.
All right.
So I actually came prepared.
All right, there you go, and then you got the reverse.
Yeah.
But when you look at a matchup like this one, though, Arun, of course, for many years has been, since the youth days, was one of our bright sort of upcoming players. And he's up against another talented youngster, Imani.
Yeah. Well, Arun's life has taken on a different track because, he now is an aeronautic engineer. So he hasn't, the work has meant that he hasn't played the type of tennis that he hasn't had time.
Right.
For the level of tennis that he is accustomed to or that he can play. But still he's an excellent player, and he's one of the better players. Right now, he had taken a rest from the game.
And he's won the first game here, very impressively at 4.
Yeah. So he's back in the game. His ranking, I think he's now ranked about number 4. If I remember correctly. And he's up against Imani Edwards Taylor. She is the number 1 ranked female player locally, but she has lost a number of matches in the final against Alina Edwards and then against Chloe Fraser. Quality players, of course. Mm-hmm. So this is a little step up for her to play against Arun. But she is, one of our top female players. And let's see what she can do.
Well, of course, both players have had a little talking to, and we're getting ready for the second set.
Okay, so Arun serves. Good tight service. Imani wasn't able to pick things up. And Arun has won the first point, 1-0.
And again, she's going for broke a lot of times. She's that type of an aggressive type player.
Right, but against those services, she'll have a lot of trouble. But she's serving now, short back spin. A good strong push by Arun. Pushes that one into the net, however, it's 1-2. Uses the backhand service. Tries to rush the point rather than making a good spinning shot. And it's 3-1. Service changes. Arun is going to serve. Arun gets ready. Good short, tight service. Pushes off the edge of the table and it's 3-2.
But again, at this point, I think she just has to relax. And again, but you can't cough it up like that. You're asking for trouble when you give it that much air and allow Arun swinging room.
Yeah, but the quality of spin, she wasn't able to control it. Good block.
A little bit of net on that occasion did her in there because she seemed to have the block in position, and but it hit the net.
Hit the net, yeah. Unfortunate.
And it didn't really bounce her way after hitting the net. Yeah, she's again trying to get that aggressive slamming.
Yeah.
And not able to do it. She took a deep breath there, obviously, to try to calm herself down.
That was a good spinny top spin. Arun didn't control it, and it's 6-3.
And he's gotten a nice lead, which is what happened in the first set. So he too could just relax now and just play each point.
Nice and spinny, good exchanges.
Yeah, and not worry too much about what else will happen. He just needs to now just make sure that he's as efficient as possible, especially with his serve. And there he is, trying to go for the slam, not able to.
Unforced error there.
Yep. So it's now 7-4.
4-7. Imani
Serving, yep.
He's in the backhand serve. It's a good pickup. But the follow through with the second shot, she wasn't able to keep it down.
Again, not for the first time. She's missing long with the backhand. And of course, you could just see her like squeezing herself there. Probably a little frustrated that she missed. But again, this is the first game for the night, so I'm sure she'll get other chances.
Right.
And they're asking for trouble with that one.
Arun used the hammer serve there. Very effective serve. She wasn't able to negotiate it. It's a top class serve. And it's 9-4. Let's see if he's going to use it again. No, he uses a pendulum short. Push to her forehand. She tries to pick it up.
Trying to be too careful there, yeah.
So let's see. I think she's going to try to use the hammer serve also. The ball is on the court, so of course it's a let ball. And stops play for a while. Imani is going to serve. She uses a hammer, but
and this time she got
a good drive in with it. Arun played a loose return. Another hammer. Push. Arun didn't get over it that time.
But now you could serve to try to serve out this set.
Yeah, close out the game. So Arun is going to serve. Uses a pendulum. Lovely place of play. Good rally by Imani this time. Nice point. Should give us some confidence with a point like that. It's 10-7. Arun is looking to close it out. Pendulum, she picks it up well. She could have finished it there.
Yeah, I thought she was going to go with the slam, but she's being very cautious there now. Yeah. I think she understands the state of the game. She don't want to make any mistakes now. Try to get back in it as much as she can or get as close to 10
as possible. Yeah. So she has to serve. Let's see. She's going to use the hammer herself. And a big drive to follow it up. Very good. Imani coming into her own there. As she gets within touching distance of Arun. What is she going to do?
Can she get it to 10 all?
It's a semi-Bergman she uses this time.
Rather
than the hammer. She's going back to the hammer. And goes for the big drive. But Arun is there waiting. And she makes the second shot. That's lovely playing by Imani.
So we all knotted now at 10 apiece, and Arun gets a chance to serve. See if he could take the lead here, break this tie.
So he's gone. Nice short, tight service, spinny.
And
Good rally by Imani. But Arun prevails, and it's 10-11.
so
So
now
she's
Imani
going
will
to have
serve
to
now.
make a good service
Yep.
to try to knot it up. Let's see what happens. She's using the backhand this time. I don't think that was the right service. Oh, very well played. Very well played. Arun put some spin in the ball, but she got right on top of it and slapped it away, and it's 11-all.
And again, on this occasion, she got the backhand in. That
she
quick
did.
fire.
Yeah.
We've seen her miss long on a couple of occasions with it.
Right.
Tied at 11.
Oh, that was good reflexes there.
And again,
played
Arun goes
really
long
good.
again with a what you think would be a simple shot for him.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't trying to hit it too hard. He was just trying to get it on the table. But he missed long again.
I think he just tried to send it long, and make it difficult
Again.
for her. But that's a very good win for Imani.
Yep, she wins at 13-11 to tie up the
13-11.
scores. She had one apiece.
Arun was a bit clearless there, having led 10-8, to allow Imani to come back and, take that game.
Yeah, she certainly held her nerve, and she got better at her finishes. I think that was the part of the problem in the first set. She had opportunity, but she couldn't finish. She kept playing the backhand. It went long on 2 or 3 occasions. And then Arun kind of just gave her opportunities to play. He kept the points alive and forced her to make the errors, and she did. However, in the second set, she came back and she forced him into error. How many long returns did we see him create? Under normal circumstances, you would expect him to hit the table on a couple of those, but he missed long on 3 occasions.
I don't think he was very aggressive in the game against her. He probably feels that he's playing a girl, but he has to wake up.
That's the thing. He better get aggressive.
Otherwise, it would be one of the biggest upsets. So it's 1-all. Imani is going to serve. But she played a very good game, and she can be proud of herself.
So let's see if she can really put the squeeze on now.
She's starting off now. Semi Bergman makes a good backhand. That's the kind of power we're talking about.
And I'm sure his coach would have told him, don't mess around,
Yeah, you need to explode.
Yep. Show what you're capable
don't
of.
allow her to be 2 and 3 points within touching distance of you. Mani again. Oh,
That's a wicked serve.
Very good serve and a very good follow-up. That's left-hand Imani has a lot of talent. So let's see Arun again. It's 1-all. Good serve. Misses.
It happens
Misses
sometimes.
the drive.
Yep.
And it's 1-2. Coach says, come on, Arun. Right, good spinny loop. Not able to keep it down, and it's 2-all. So Imani, a little warm this evening, fans. It's a good serve, nice and low. He didn't go very aggressive with it. He just tried to roll it on, and it went into the net. It's 3-2. Good backhand. Andrew.
We've seen this before. Both players guilty of really having good opportunities and not able to take advantage of it. It's all tied at 3 apiece now.
Right. Nice and spinny.
Just a bit long with that backhand. But she favors the backhand a lot, although she can go powerful off the forehand. But it's a backhand is what she tends to favor.
Well, the backhand, if he hits the ball onto the backhand, unless she turns, she wouldn't be able to play the forehand. So when he drives the ball onto the backhand, she has to try to block it to keep it in play and get into the game. It's 3-5. Left-hander serves, nice and short. Good push, nice powerful drive by Arun.
The block was there, but again, too long on the return.
Yeah, it was very quick also. It's 3-6. Imani. Pushed wide of her. She didn't move very fluently there. And it's 7-3.
Again,
Arun has taken a 4-point lead.
Which he did in the last game as well. He had a big lead and then she clawed her way back.
Yeah. Again, he's missing. Looked like a pretty easy shot. But he put it into the net and it's 7-4.
Again, both players guilty of missing what you'll consider
unforced
routine
errors.
shots. Yep.
Yeah.
Good opportunities though. She scores it at 3 now.
A good pendulum serve. Kept it very low. That was a good pushback. Didn't give her the opportunity to go into the attack.
Back up to
And
4.
it's
She's 4-8 now.
Yeah. So she also, is she going to use the pendulum or the hammer? And she used the hammer. Good drive, follow-up drive, good block. As you said there, she didn't turn and make the second forehand. She tried to make the backhand. Now she makes a good backhand. And it's 5-9.
Again, I suppose it's part of her fundamentals. It's just the way she the way she moves the racket. It almost always comes out on the backhand. That's natural with her.
All right, good drive by Arun to the forehand.
He's 1 away now.
Not able to block that, and it's 10-5. Right, she picks it up. Arun makes a good pickup. She tries to block. Doesn't succeed in that block.
So it's 2-1 now.
And he has taken an 11-5 victory on a 2-1 overall. Talks to his coach. He's there with Trevor Farley, who is the coach of the team. Trevor Farley is a Caribbean champion from Barbados. One of the best players in the Caribbean.
Yep. He's shown his capabilities here in TNT over the years.
Yes, certainly has.
It's almost like an honorary Trinidadian.
Yes, he plays quite a few matches in Trinidad.
Yeah, and I think
And
it's
has
where
been
he
very
can get
successful.
opportunities to play. When you like your sport, you have to seek out a good quality opposition, and I think he realizes that coming to Trinidad, he will be able to get some good matches in.
Yeah, I think he likes Trinidad too. Now there's his brother Kevin Farley, who is also a Caribbean champion. He's here from time to time also. So, 2-1 up, Arun serves, pendulum serve, picked up by Imani, but not with much power, and Arun is able to put it away. It's 1-0. Another pendulum. He drives powerfully. Imani cannot block it, and it's 0-2.
But you look at him, and he's trying to serve almost exclusively on her forehand. And I suppose it's something that they would have worked out in her game.
Goes on the backhand. This time she doesn't get a drive in. I think she went a bit too quickly for it. She was in control, she wasn't on top of things. And so Arun is now 4-0. Pendulum serve. Just between long and short, just off the table. Not sure whether it's going to drop on the table or go off the table. It's that type of serve.
Yeah, but
now he has
taken a commanding 6-0 lead here.
Very commanding lead, without a doubt.
Yeah. But again, you look at it, almost all of the points have been won on her forehand. So I think that is something that they have worked out with her, and they're feeding that forehand now, forcing her to have to play off the forehand more than on her backhand, because she seems, like I said, it's almost like a reflex on her backhand, but it's on her forehand where they feel they have the best shot of success.
The thing is, the backhand block is normally an easier block than the forehand block. Nice exchanges there. Arun came out on top, and it's 7-1. Going to use the hammer. Not able to negotiate it. It's short, spinny. She plays it off the end of the table, and he has, as you would say, a commanding 8-1 lead.
Yep, he's up by 7 at the moment, making life very difficult for her. And now he's winning points on both sides of the table, on the forehand and on her backhand. And that's the scoreboard pressure mounting on her there.
Yes.
He had it, but he missed.
Yeah, generous of him. So it's
But you've seen with her in the past, you don't want to give her too many opportunities, because she's quite capable of moments like that, and could quickly get herself back in the game.
Close it off, and see Trevor Farley getting ready to play.
Yep,
So
he's up against Yuvraj Dukram.
Solid ball. Going to use the pendulum again. Pendulum short, she pushes. And she gets in the first loop. Normally you would expect Arun to make the first loop, but he just went safe, pushed back, and was just trying to allow her to make the mistake. But she didn't. This time he goes for the loop. Very spinny, wins the point, and it's 10-4. Which is what he should have done in the previous point. But
he's one away now from closing out this one. That's it. That's game, set, and match. As he wins it 11-4.
I think she will take heart that she did win one game out in the set. So she will definitely take heart.
So it ended up 3-1 in favor of Arun Rupnarain, winning the first set 11-4, losing the second 11-13, winning the third 11-5, and then 11-4 to close out this game. 3-1 to Legends first up. A pretty interesting game, and like I said, we saw signs of her, like her at her best, and then we also saw some of the areas where she probably needs to work on a little bit more. But again, somebody like Arun, even though, as you said, he hasn't been playing much, it's that muscle memory comes back, and he recognizes that there are some things he probably can't do as well as he used to, say, 3-4 years ago. But when he gets himself into situations, he can, I suppose, work it out, and it becomes easy for him after a while.
Yes, but this is a key match here, because in the format that they are using, each side has a marquee player, which means that marquee player has the opportunity to play 2 games. So in the number 2 spot, the marquee player will play. Okay, so that's a game between the 2 marquee players here.
You have Trevor Farley and Yuvraj Dukran, a former national standout.
Yes. So Dukram now is on the national team. In fact, the national team is made up of Khalil Asghar Ali, who won the nationals, Aaron Wilson, who is the number 1 ranked player, Yuvraj Dukram, and of course Darren Douglas. So Darren Douglas and Yuvraj Dukram are 2 national players on the team, on the Queen's Park team. And we have Arun, who can easily be on that team as a national player also. And you have Trevor Farley, a Caribbean champion. And then you have the young man who was very dynamic last time, who is also now the captain of the Guyanese cricket team, at present on the 17 cricket team. That's fantastic, eh?
Yep.
And he's referring to Jonathan Van Lange. Right? He is actually in Trinidad playing for Guyana
Cricket, yeah.
on the under 17 team, and he's the captain of the team.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know if he's playing on this team or if he's not. If he's playing today.
Well, it's certainly an opportunity for him to kind of test the waters again,
Yeah.
and see how he measures up, so to speak.
He's going to have it very tough against Trevor Farley. But if he plays at his best, you'll see a very good game. And if they all
So we're getting ready for the second game of this matchup between Legends and Queen's Park. Legends in the black strips, Queen's Park with their traditional light blue top. And the pair of Trevor Farley against Yuvraj Dukram. And Dukram gets the first point going.
Yeah. And Queen's Park are the defending national champions, but now meeting a Legends team that will have players from Barbados and Guyana, top players. So let's see how they will face up to that. Yuvraj has come out with all guns firing, has taken a 3-0 lead.
Well, you probably figure one of the best ways to put Farley off his game is to attack him. Attack with full force.
And Farley has given him that 4th point. So there he is now.
And a 5th as well. So this is a brilliant start for Yuvraj.
Certainly is.
And it gets better all the time.
Came out with all guns firing. So let's look at some of the technical things that he's doing. You see, so Farley's going to serve now. Farley's
It's brilliant.
The service was long, and Yuvraj pounced on it, and it's 0-7. Short this time. Tries to get that pickup, not getting going, and Yuvraj leads 8-0.
This is a little bit surprising, one would have to say, but we wait to see.
And Farley gets on the board now. It's 8-1. Yuvraj the backhand service, nice and slow. Farley didn't generate a lot of fire with that shot because it was such a slow service. He had to work his own pace. But it's 1-9. Good service. Yuvraj was right on top of it.
Yep,
as he was very aggressive against his service.
Another fantastic winner.
110.
And there's more of the same there. So would you believe it? 11-1 to open the first set.
Farley never seemed to get going. And Yuvraj came out of the blocks very quickly. He was pouncing on anything that was short. You know, he was going for it. And game got out of hand very, very quickly.
It certainly is, and it was really a dream start for Yuvraj, and he just kept going. Farley never really got it into gear, and even when he tried, you could see Yuvraj was there waiting, almost as if he knew beforehand the shot that Farley was about to make. And what it has done here is put Queen's Park in a good position now to try to level this match at one set apiece. And but it's, as you say, it's early days yet. Farley is an experienced campaigner, and we wait to see if he can really conjure up some magic of his own here.
Most definitely. So
1-0 to Queen's Park and to Yuvraj, and he's off and running again.
Yes. I mean, Farley sent the service wide onto his forehand, but, you know, Yuvraj was up to it, and he got across and he made the shot. And it's two very good points by Yuvraj.
Both backhand and forehand working like a charm right now for Yuvraj. And just as I say that, he misses.
Yeah, commentators goose. I think these things do happen.
But this is such a good start by him. I think his confidence is sky high at the moment.
Yes. Nice and slow. And very good pickup. He just seems to be using that power, and it's 1-3. Farley seemed not to be on at all today. Not the Farley that we have known and we have seen in the recent past. It's 1-4. Running serve. He reads it very well.
Yep.
Picks it up and drives it away. And it's 1-5.
Talk about a return of serve. He was all over that serve.
Yeah,
He just crashed it past him.
Yeah, as long as the serve comes along, he's going to go for it. Top of the net, off the table. Yuvraj again.
5-2 now. Make that 5-3. Yep.
There was a little change there in Yuvraj because he served from far off the table in that round.
3-5 quickly becomes 3-6.
Yeah, picking up the service long. Farley is serving long. Tries to go short this time, but short enough. Yuvraj couldn't pick up that short one, and it's 6-4. It's still a pretty close game now, eh? So short, Farley was right on top of it. Used his wrist to pick it up from on top of the table.
Well, that's the experience, yeah. That's the experience coming through there. No big back swing on that one.
Yeah.
Just wrist.
Good back spin. Farley pick up with his wrist once again.
This time he was a bit long there, Yuvraj. He went for it again, but he missed this time.
Yeah, and very quickly it's now 6-all. As Farley seems to be getting into stride. Kept it very short, but Yuvraj made a very safe, low return. Farley wasn't able to put it away. 6-7.
Yep.
Long serve again.
Try again
right,
with the second
he picked up
time.
the long serve, but Farley was waiting. Played it back, rallied it back, and it's 7-all. Yuvraj now. He's going to use the pendulum. No, yes, he uses the pendulum.
This time he misses once more. And that has been his bread and butter so far in this game. That forehand across court, across table.
7-8. Yep. Nice and short. Good push. Then he pushes it long. Farley had to move back. He moved back a little slowly. Hit the top of the net and off the table. And it's 8-all. Farley. Nice and short. A good push. Good aggressive push by Yuvraj Dokram. Farley hits it into the net. It's 8-9. Running serve. On top of it again.
That's brilliant. A wonderful backhand there, return of serve. Kind of caught Farley in between.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if to go backhand or if to go on the forehand. He couldn't get his body in position to control
Perfect
it.
length, as you will say. 10-8. A hammer serve. A good block.
There it is.
And it's a beautiful game again by Yuvraj Dokram. He is now 2-0 up, and Farley is going to have to rethink what he is going to do, because he is facing it. This is a bit of a surprise.
11-8 to close out that one. And but again, it's really like the aggression. It's almost as if Yuvraj isn't allowing Farley to get into stride, even though he tied it up at 6, kept it at 7. But a lot of times those were because of misses on the part of Yuvraj. It isn't like as if Farley has come into the game and is really dominating him. What he's done, he's kept Farley a little bit off balance, and now he's finding ways to finish off these games. Farley has to kind of try to somehow counter that by becoming aggressive himself and see if he could put Yuvraj on the defensive a little bit more. Because right now, it seems as if every time he serves, Yuvraj is all over it, just waiting. And that cross-table forehand is a a wicked tool that he's using against him.
Yeah, I think Farley probably will have to use a bit more backspin rather than the running services, which Yuvraj seemed to be well on top of it.
But he's come out with a little fire there to
Yeah.
take the first point.
So what service is Yuvraj going to use? Pendulum, short pendulum. Very good. Farley tried to use his wrist to pick it up, couldn't, and it's 1-all. Trademark Farley serve. Nice, good touches. He's a touch player who can just keep that ball just over the net.
And there's aggressive
Once
Yuvraj.
again, Yuvraj Dukram is pouncing on those short balls. That's just over the net. And Yunus's wrist to good effect. A series of rallies there.
A little bit of aggression showing there from
Aggression
Farley.
on both sides. And it's 2-3. Pendulum serve again, it looks like. Yes, short. A very good pickup as Farley puts it, probably in an easy part of the table. He didn't go long and he didn't go short. So it was bread and butter to Yuvraj. Nice short backspin service played into the net.
4-3
Once
now.
again. And once again, he isn't getting that service as short as he should. And as a result, Yuvraj is able to make that attack, pick it up, and come back 4-all. So Yuvraj is going to serve now. Short pendulum. Good pushback. Lovely playing. Yuvraj has taken a 5-4 lead.
That's brilliant from Yuvraj again, using those quick hands.
Very short. You see, look at the backspin. Excellent backspin. Excellent backspin there. 5-4 was a let ball. Serves again. Again, Farley putting the ball middle of the table. Not short and not long. Middle of the table is food and butter for good players.
And Yuvraj now beginning to just open up a little bit of a lead here, making it 4-7. He's up by 3. Or is it 7-4?
And then a timeout called by the bench, which is very good. Timeout was called by Andrew Edwards, who is one of the national coaches. He's the brother of Aaron Edwards. So Aaron Edwards coaching Queen's Park and Andrew Edwards coaching Legends. It's very good. I think Farley probably is getting a little problem with the lighting and the venue.
Well, I think partly to I just feel that Yuvraj kind of came out in that first set and set the tone.
Yes.
And Farley has been trying to play catch up ever since. And even when he had the lead, he recognized that Yuvraj was still there. He didn't really get to extend the lead. Right now he's trailing, and he's going to have to figure out how he's going to win.
How he's gonna win
consecutive
his
points.
Yeah, you're quite right there. Trademark Farley serve, nice and short. He gets the low pin, gets a very spinny shot. Yuvraj tried to cover it and make an aggressive shot, but off the table, and it's 5-7. So Yuvraj is going to serve. He's going to serve the pendulum. Yes, the pendulum, short pendulum. Good push by Farley, good spin. But good aggression again from Yuvraj.
You could see him
Farley wasn't
moving.
able to make the shot. So
Trying
it's
to move
8-5.
him around.
Pendulum again.
Trying to move him around the
And
table
yes,
as much as possible.
Wasn't able to pick it up, and it's 5-9. He has a 4-point lead. Very good chance to close it out 3-0. Farley serve.
Well, he's one away now, 10-5, leading 2 sets to nothing, and he could close it out here. This could be game, set, and match here now if he wins this next point. And there he goes.
And he has won. It's a lovely game by Yuvraj Dukram. That augurs very well for Trinidad and Tobago, and for Queen's Park.
So So they're now
It's
up
an
by
excellent victory.
2-0 here.
No, it's 1-1.
Well,
Remember?
well, 1-0, yeah, because Legends won that opening game.
Yeah, through Arun.
Yep, through Arun. So now it's still even Stevens here, and an opportunity now for either team to try to take
go
the
ahead.
lead.
Yes. So according to the draw, the format of this is very interesting, you know, because the team is a team of 4. What happens is the marquee player will play 2 matches.
Give them some opportunity to capitalize on that player's abilities.
Right. So there are 3 other players who have to play. So if you have a very good player who is better than all the players in the country, and he wins his 2, you still need to get somebody
else has to win one somewhere.
You know, that used to happen a lot. St. Louis was winning games and not able to finish off to win the third one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we have another interesting matchup here. Franklin Citroen for Legends against Joshua Maxwell for Queen's Park.
Right. Joshua Maxwell is a very talented young player. He wasn't playing recently, but he is back. He is back in action. He is now ranked number 7 in the country. But he is an explosive player. Very powerful shots, very spinny shots. Now he's coming up against the veteran Sichan, who is a difficult player because he plays with the long pips. So he has the long pips on the red side is long pips. So when he plays with the long pips, the ball does the exact opposite to what you would expect it to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he uses that by changing the racket around during the game. So you're not sure which side he hits on.
Forehand or backhand.
Backhand. So when he plays it with the red side, the ball is going to wobble a bit. When he plays it with the backhand, then you could more or less explode. But you can set him up. And I'm sure Maxwell will be looking to do that and use his power and his good spin to good effect. So it should be a quite interesting game.
Yeah, and I think for viewers, as you were pointing out, the red side and the dark side or the black side, both players have similar setup, so that's kind of common for most players. And it's really just like preference, I would imagine, what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, but in table tennis, what happens is that the rubbers generates the spin and the speed together with, of course, a good blade. So a good rubber can cost anything like $700 for one side. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's not the ordinary rubber that you will pick up in the store or you will play in the backyard.
Or you just go in a store and buy a racket and get this quality.
No, you won't get the quality rubber. Here. You need to go to one of the Butterfly or one of these. Anyhow, we started. Immediately, good touches. Good touch by Joshua Maxwell. And he goes by the name Parker. That's his nickname. So Parker against the Siege. So Parker is going to serve. Oh, very, very quick. Very explosive power.
But you could see it. He's powerfully built, and you could just see him with that big wind-up. And he just exploded through the ball.
Yeah, it's like Primus, huh?
Yep.
So that one there, he didn't get that shot going. Was a little casual with it, and it's now 1-3. Using the black rubber. Sent a long service to Maxwell. Maxwell has played some fantastic games recently.
Yeah, Queen's Park has been really a team that has grown and grown and grown. And they've been able to attract some of the best talent in the country as well. And so as a result of that, you find that their levels of their expectation now is so much higher because they've been consistent throughout. And that comes from winning. And,
most definitely. And a good pendulum serve from Maxwell. And then followed up with a testing drive. So it's 5-2. Pendulum again. You see now he's using the back rubber. So one of the things with that rubber, if you put spin against it, more spin comes back at you. Right. So what you have to do, you have to play it, like pretty dead like that. So he will have to try to generate the spin.
Power, yeah.
And then after that, you can explode on him if you have the ability and the shots. Not everybody can do it. Good serve.
So umpire Dave Ramuta there just pointing out that it's 7-3 now in favor of Queen's Park and of course Maxwell. That's a quick serve.
A good serve. I told you he's a guy with a lot of power.
He just ran that down the road.
He is one of the players who we could look forward to representing Trinidad in the not too distant future.
And again, another good serve. He just couldn't follow it up.
Yeah.
Because the ball was there. It was there for the attack. He just hit long again.
When he hits the ball, it's like poly.
Yep.
It's a lot of power.
Yep. And this is where I think his finesse game is what I think Sichan is probably going to try to force him into and take away some of that power.
Yeah.
Just missing there. He had it again, but he couldn't convert.
Yeah. So let's see. Serves very well. Very, very good services.
Yep, he's one away now.
Very tight. He's taking a 5-point lead. Tried a disdainful shot there with the backhand. Didn't come off. And it's 6-10. Still has a 4-point lead, so he has 4 match points. So Siege, the old Siege is there. An old Bergman type service. The umpire warns him.
But the height
ball needs to
the
go
toss.
6 inches,
Yep.
A lot of these old-time players, they tend to serve out of the hand.
They don't give you a chance to see the ball.
Yeah. But this time he throws it up well, and, Parker is careless with his shot, and it's 7-10. Using the backhand. Good legitimate service. And a really good forehand shot by Sichan. As Parker did nothing really. Didn't try to be aggressive. Just put the ball back on the table and Sichan pounced on it.
It's within 2 now. It's 10-8.
Good service.
And there it is.
And he finishes it.
Yep.
He finishes it with his normal power. And it's 8-11.
Yep, so you take the first game and really take the first set 11-8. And even though he had a sizable lead at one time, it was 10-5 at one stage. And Sichan clawed his way back a little bit, but he couldn't bring it all the way back in the final analysis. So an 11-8 victory for Maxwell and for Queen's Park. So they take a 1-0 lead. Remember, this match is tied at 1 set all, or 1 game all, I should say. And now it's a question of who can really take that little advantage Yeah, remember, Trevor Farley is still going to play a second game after this one. And also, Yuvraj Dukram is also set to play a second game, but he's going to play the fifth and final game if needed. You know, so this game is crucial for both teams here because if Queens Park were to win this, they would go ahead 2-1. But Farley, I'm sure, will be hoping to bring the Legends back if needed, and just square this tie as much as possible. But it's 1-0 now to Maxwell. He serves.
Good. That's a pendulum serve. A good pendulum serve by Joshua Maxwell. Another one. But well played by Seach. He was waiting on it and pushed it deep onto the backhand. So it's 1-1. So short. And countered that rally by Maxwell. So he's trying to be aggressive here now, Sichan.
Which is a good strategy because you can't just allow Maxwell to be the one dropping the hammer all the time.
Yeah, that was a very good play too to bring back that first drive by Sichan, and it's 1-3.
Brilliant. Magnificent.
This time it was
from an awkward angle.
Not much Sichan could have done with that.
He didn't see it.
2-3.
Yep.
This boy has some talent. Good push by Sichan. And again hit it with that side that caused the ball to wobble a bit, and Maxwell wasn't able to handle it.
See, the guy caught in two minds there, Maxwell. He wasn't sure if he wanted to put some power and some pace on it or if he just wanted to get it over the net. Yeah,
he probably recognized that he hit the ball with the red side, you know. So
just seemed to choke him a little bit as well.
So switches again and gets in a good backhand.
So he goes up 5-2.
Mm-hmm. Good spin by Joshua Maxwell, and it's 3-5. So Maxwell is going to serve. He's going to have to serve tight.
Well,
and he does serve tight and gets in a big drive. Not much Sichan can do about that, and it's 4-5.
When it's coming hot.
A lovely service. Very pacey this time.
And they all tied at 5 now. So quickly, he's erased that 2-point advantage.
Mm-hmm. It's 5-all. So Sichan is going to have to get some points when he is serving. Yeah. Usually tries to rush the game.
What I like about this tournament is that you could just see, forget the age disparity, but you just see the different styles, coming to the fore here. And you're seeing the experienced players who trying to mix it up, trying to see if they could fool the younger players, not just with serve, but with strategy.
And that one was nice and short by Sichan. He tried to make the backhand, to get the ascendancy, but Maxwell played it back well, and he played it into the net.
7-5 now. He can really push on here. But
missed that one.
Yep.
Yeah. But if you look on the other table, you will see one of our young players playing against a player from Guyana, one of the young players from Guyana also. So that's an interesting match over there also. But back on this table. So you realize he hit with the red rubber there, and he wasn't able to control the ball. He just tried to get it back onto the table. So it's 7-all.
So we all knotted once more.
He's changing, he turns it. And that power. In fact, from the time the ball is high and Maxwell gets into that position.
Because you're not quite sure where he's going to play it. If he's going to play it on your backhand, or if he's going to play it on your forehand. or, and in that case, into your body.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have much swinging room.
And then they power.
Yep. So you have to get the racket like into your stomach just to make contact with the ball.
Oh, well played by Seach. He used a fast running service. Maxwell picked it up quickly, but he was waiting on it, punched it back to him, and it's 8-all.
So they're going down to the wire in this one. They're level pegging again.
Yeah. So Maxwell is going to have to serve well. The service didn't have much venom in it, and Sichan was able to make an aggressive return into the backhand. So it has to be tight. Very good. Long, spinny.
Speed.
With a lot of speed.
It's almost like he's just bowling a quicker one.
Yeah.
So we all square again at 9-all.
It's a lot of spin there when it comes off the net. You know, Maxwell apologizes. 9-10. Sichan, backhand serve. And
there it is. He's
that
taking
time,
a 2-0 lead here now.
Yeah, but Sichan wasn't very smart there because he showed the black rubber and served from on top of the table. So immediately Maxwell knew exactly what was coming to him. And it was very easy for him to put that spin into the ball and close off the point. So he has now taken a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, so Queen's Park well underway here, but it means Sichan has to find something. He lost at 8 and at 9. So he's right there. He's not too far off. He might be saying to himself,
too far off.
Yeah, he now needs to try to complete, maybe be a little more consistent, especially in those middle points.
Looking at table 3 there for a minute, I'm seeing Mark Lefay playing against Everton Sorzano. And Mark Lefay played a brilliant game last night, pulling off a victory against Reza Burke, who is a 5-time national champion.
Yep.
Right? And he's playing against Everton Sorzano, who is a former national player also, and leading 2-1, 6-5. And Mark Lefay is one of our young players. And, you know, seem to be doing pretty well in this tournament so far.
Like I said, this is good exposure for some of these. This is a tremendous opportunity
on the other
for
table,
them.
Table 2, we have Joshua Joseph coming up against Percival from Guyana, and he's leading 1-0. So, start of this game, first point to Parker. Second point, Sichan ties it up. Joshua shakes his head as the ball died on him there, and it's 1-all. Very, very fluent backhand as he picked up that ball and spun it back, and it's 2-1. He's going to use the pendulum serve again. Good pendulum. Ball came up at a little awkward height for him. Just pushed it back. Sichan pushed it back to him. Ball bubbled on him, and it's 2-all.
A little bit careless there. A little careless there from Maxwell. He had plenty of time to probably really spunk that one. It was at a nice height.
Yeah.
And he just said, give it, but he got it back immediately because Sichan was long yet again.
Yeah. Again, hits off the top of the net, goes off, and you know, Joshua's taking a 2-point lead, 4-2. Pendulum played nice and short by Sichan. And he gets the shot there, but not able to convert. It's what you'll call a sitter.
Yep,
and it's 5-2.
You would think, I'm sure he'd have been thinking, you know, that's money in the bank there. He just missed it.
5-2. Nice and spinny. Went low and spun that up. Sichan couldn't negotiate it. And it goes off the end of the table. And it's 6-2.
So a quick timeout here for some discussion.
Yes.
Yep.
So if you look at the other table now, I see Sorzano is on the verge of winning. Yes, he has won 11-8 to level up 2-all against Levi. While on the other table we see Joshua Joseph leading 6-5 against Percival from Guyana. Now, Percival is he was the B-class winner of the last national Guyana tournament, which is the class right below their A-class.
The A-class players, and we've
But
seen a couple of players.
he's a good player. So, from the timeout, good serve from Sichan. Gets the point 3-6. Not sure he threw that up 6 inches, but that's a good serve this time. And he uses the racket to good advantage there as he plays the ball from the top of the table and is able to make a good aggressive push to Maxwell, which he doesn't negotiate. It's 6-4. Maxwell is going to serve. Nice slow pendulum. Good pickup, good spin, good control. That's what we like to see. And it's 7-4.
Again, he changed it up there a little bit. He wasn't as quick as some of the others, so
Yes.
he forced Sichan to have to wait.
So let ball. You have to serve that again. That's a good return. Excellent point from Sichan. Because I think Maxwell got in a really good drive and Sichan was able to turn and get that on.
He really needed
It's
to
5-7.
put that away from him. Just like he's doing there, force him to have to reach for it.
Yes, that's right. It's 5-8 now. Sichan is serving.
Leading 2 sets to nothing here, trying to close out the third set. Up 8-6 now.
I think it was a good strategy there. The service, he sent it far onto the right-hand side and Maxwell didn't really move across as well as he should. And it's 8-6. Good movement from Maxwell. Excellent movement from Maxwell. He was able to get, deep onto the backhand there. As the ball, just bounced over the net, short on the backhand, pushed it back, and then got in a drive after. It's 9-6.
Yep, 2 away now. Can he finish it off here?
Excellent backhand.
1 away
10-6,
now.
Nice and spinny. 6-10. Sichan has his work cut out if he's going to get back into this game. And that's it.
Yep, he gifted it to him there. Game, set, and match. He lost the first set at 11-8, the second at 11-9, and now the third at 11-6 for another 3-0 victory to Joshua Maxwell. So Queen's Park now go ahead by a 2-1 margin over the Legends. So as is normal, the players complement each other.
The marquee player Farley is going to be playing, I'm not sure who he's coming up against. Didn't see the draw.
Francis. Abraham Francis.
Abraham Francis.
Mm-hmm. Another talented youngster.
Yeah. They call him AB. Very good shots, both backhand and forehand. Very talented player. But does he have the temperament to be able to play the type of game that he needs to play to defeat Farley?
Well, it's going to be answered in a short while because as it is right now, Abraham really needs to keep the momentum going. I would imagine that's what Queen's Park will be hoping. So they could close this one out as quickly as possible and avoid having to go to a 50. And I suppose that's probably what is uppermost in his mind. But he still has to play the opponent in front of him. And the opponent in front of him is a formidable one in Trevor Farley. Farley, remember, lost to Yuvraj Dukram 11-1, 11-8, 11-5 for a 3-0 scoreline. And I'm sure he'll want to not or avoid another sluggish start
Yes.
like he did against
Well,
Uvrich.
he would have had the opportunity to get a little feel for the conditions in his earlier match. So I expect he will play a much better game.
Yeah.
Abraham Francis now is currently ranked number 7 in Trinidad and Tobago. He has, risen very quickly and is playing quite well. So he will have this opportunity now against Trevor Farley to show what he's made of. It's gonna be tough for him though, because Farley isn't coming to sit down and lose 2 games that easily. Legends are depending on him because Van Lans, I don't think he's here. He's in playing cricket against Guyana, I think. I've seen him on the bench.
So again, Farley has to be mindful of what's at stake here, but I don't think you need to tell him too much. He just has to try to stay in the moment now.
So they share the points for the first 2. And it's 1-1. You see Farley moving a bit better now. So AB is going to use the pendulum to good effect. But that service was very loose, very bouncy. Food and water for Farley. Put it away 3-1. And then Farley uses a very tight, aggressive serve onto it's a reverse onto the forehand of AB. Another reverse.
Yep.
Another reverse, but it's long and AB recognized that. He moved across and picked it up well, and it's 2-4. Nice and short, good backspin. Again. But he didn't expect Farley is using his wrists and he's there waiting on those short services. So instead this one was served between long and short. So if he was waiting for the short one, then it's not the length that he would have wanted. 5-3. Trademark Farley service. Good block. Good rally. Excellent point. As a flurry of exchanges sees Abraham Francis winning that point, and it's 5-4. Farley serves. He tosses it high. Good serve. AB then negotiated very well, and Farley was able to get a drive in and go 2 points ahead. 4-6. Good serve. Good tight service by Abraham Francis. Farley into the net. 5-6.
I'm not quite sure what he was trying to do there, Francis. He really should have been coming forward to meet that ball at the highest point, but he just kind of backed off and allowed it to drop, and then he couldn't get under it to do anything with it. He find himself trailing now 7-6. Make that 8-6.
Has got to be ready for the return. Don't expect that you make a good shot and it's not going to come back. So it's 6-8. Strong, powerful shot into the elbow of Abraham Francis. No chance. Farley up 9-6. Francis serves. Tries to use his wrist to flick the ball up. Wasn't able to do that. 9-7. Farley leads. Good, fast, spinny service. Abraham Francis not able to control it off the board. 10-7. Lead ball. Match point. Good exchanges, but a missed forehand by Abraham Francis, and Farley wins the first game 11-7.
And again, this is about a youth versus experience here now, and quite not too unexpectedly, one would have to say, Trevor Farley coming out much quicker than he did in the first game against Uvrich. And of course, knowing that he's up against a youngster who he is saying to himself he should be able to beat, but he has to be mindful of the fact that you can only play the opponent that's in front of you, and he has to try to take care of business in this game here, while Francis, no doubt, knows that he's up against a wily veteran.
Yeah. But just looking at the game between Sorzano and Lefi, Sorzano leads 10-9, and it's in the 5th game. So Lefi is serving. Let's see if he can equalize. He doesn't. Sorzano picks it up, he goes for the drive, hits it off the table and loses 11-9. He beat Reasonable 3-0 last night, and tonight lose to Sorzano 3-2.
Just like in the first set, we tied at 1 apiece early.
He seems to be getting into stride there now.
Well, he's probably a more adjusted now. Seem to have everything working at the moment. And again, he's up against an aggressive youngster. He's giving him all he could handle at times, and bringing this one into a 3-2 now, or 2-3.
I'm not sure who is going to be playing the 5th game for Queen's Park. I'm not seeing Darren Douglas here.
Yuvraj Dukram is probably going to come back in.
Dukram.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out against Wong. It's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, it's 5-2 now. They got 5-3. And this is the point in the game here where Farley has to be mindful of. You want to pick up quick points, but you don't want to concede too many at this point. You don't want to give Abraham anything at all. If he has to earn it himself. You don't want to gift him too many points. So again, you want to make sure that you take care of business, force him into error as much as possible, and you take those that he give you. You take the ones you create yourself, and you also take the ones that your opponent gives you as well. That's how you win matches like these.
That was well played there because he got well on top of it.
It's 5-7.
It's 5-7. He's just 2 points behind. But a good pendulum serve. Farley trying to go towards the end. Oh, and now he serves that one off. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a real
can't
gift,
afford.
yeah.
You can't afford to lose those type of points.
Yeah, especially after losing the first game, the first set. You want to make sure.
Yeah. The Farley again. But it's really well played there. It's 8-7. Not worried. Yeah.
That's
But the idea was
there.
good, but you need to get it on. 7-9. Good hammer serve. And Farley putting it into the net. AB again, another hammer. This time Farley moves away, waits on it, spins it, loaded, and goes 10-8. Match point.
She's back within one now, 10-9.
Yeah. Missed shot by Farley.
Just to be careful here.
Nice and short.
He just got the edge of the table there, so we all knotted at 10
all
apiece.
knotted up at 10 apiece. These things do happen. So AB again. Pendulum. Not pendulum, even the hammer this time. Winning point by Farley. Leads 11-10.
Close it out here. And he does.
Most certainly does.
And,
He didn't judge the length or the depth of the ball. Missed the shot, and it's 12-10.
So that gives him a 2-0 advantage here now, Farley. And one win away from knotting things up here and forcing a fifth and deciding matchup. There you look at him again. Look at the high toss and just look at the amount of spin on it. You actually forced Francis to almost make a split on the ground trying to return that serve and couldn't, and find himself behind now 2 sets to love.
Yes. Just a look on the other table. I noticed that Percival of Guyana has drawn level against young Joshua Joseph. And Joshua Joseph is just 14 years old, playing for PowerGen, and he will be one of the players of the future.
Actually, I think Joshua won that set, won that match.
He won the match, but I think it's 2-all now. Joshua lost that match. Joshua was leading 2-1 and Percival won. Because I was looking at it, looking at the scores. So they're going to resume shortly, but back to the main table now. Farley, high toss, serve. Tries to use his explosive backhand, but into the net, and AB takes the first point. High toss. Simple rally. AB wasn't in a good position there, and it's 1-all. AB is going to serve. Good short, tight service, but unforced. Trying to hide the ball from Farley, puts it into the net. Good spinny pick up by Farley, and he takes a 3-1 lead. Again, the trademark Farley serve off the table from AB.
So quickly now he opens up a 5-1 advantage.
Yeah. AB seems to have a lot on his mind. He's not really concentrating as much as he should.
He seemed to. What if he hurt himself when he made that split there? He's not moving very well. I think he's hurt his leg.
Yeah, yes, it looks that way. It's 1-6.
Yeah, I don't think he can continue. I think he's going to concede the game at 6-1. So 3-0 there to the Legends, and we all nutted at 2 games apiece.
He did go down very awkward against Farley there for that last point of the previous game.
Yep, and he might have done himself some kind of damage there.
Some injury.
Yep.
And this is going to be tough for Queen's Park because I'm not sure that Darren is here, Darren Douglas. I'm not seeing him. Oh, yes, he is. But
so he's probably just waiting in the wings to fill in. And so we see what happens. So again, with this match all tied at 2 matches each, we take a short break. Remember, we're live here on 360 TV covering the ICW, the insurance company of the West Indies, Table Tennis Champions League Tournament 2023. Okay, as we welcome you back here, as you can see now, we have another interesting matchup here now, and this one is going to be interesting. Colin Wong is up against Yuvraj Tukram. Yuvraj has already won for the evening, and so now he's finding himself in a situation where he has to win 2 in order for his team to win 3-2 in the end.
Yes, but Colin Wong, although under 19 player, he is also on the Guyana senior national team. So he is an excellent player. In fact, he was the player one of the players responsible for Arima Table Tennis Club winning.
And there it is, the first point of this match going to Yuvraj, and we saw him in that first game jumping off very aggressively against Farley. And he goes up by 2 now. Make that 3. Colin just a little bit too long there. Nice little spin there, plenty back spin on it. And that's part of the aggression that we've seen from Yuvraj. He's not afraid to go for his shots.
So we see a 5-1 lead by Dukram. Bit loose from Wong that time.
Yeah,
but Wong starts very slowly, because we saw the same thing yesterday when he played his first game against Joshua Joseph, and he was very slow in the first game, lost the first game, and then came back and won 3-1.
Well, he's in danger here as well, because he's down by 1-9 now. That's a good intelligent serve. Took all the pace off of that one. And almost jammed his wrist on that one, so he's really now just one away. Yuvraj.
I think he's just trying to get a pace.
And, well, remember he closed out Farley in the first game in their matchup 11-1, and here he's beaten Wong 11-2.
Yeah. So Dukram seems to be in pristine form.
Queen's Park on their way here, and Wong is going to have to pull off another comeback like he did last night.
You know. Looks like he'll have to do a Houdini.
But I mean, I'm just so amazed with the kind of talent, the level of talent that we're seeing. And like I said, as they get to play more matches, they probably get better as they go along. Tomorrow is another big day in the tournament. So a lot of these players, we anticipate we will see them kind of step up as they go along.
Definitely.
And that's what competition breeds in it. It allows you to work through your errors as much as possible and try to correct them. And with each match, you try to do better the next time. Or if you find an opponent where you've had some
1 minute, and the referee has called time. The game is about to start.
And you were looking
all across there.
That's another interesting battle going right down to the wire there. So here we go.
All right. The tactic, of course, it will appear that he's going to play the ball without much spin. So Dukram is going to have to create his own spin. It's short again. It's a good tactic. And it has gotten him 2 points. Dukram is going to spin his own. Wong makes a very good pickup and has now taken a 3-0 lead. Yuvraj is going to serve. He played a very unusual looking shot there as he tried to counter that service from Yuvraj.
I think Percival has won the other one 12-10, the final set. So quickly, we see Wong Colin now is up 4-1, now make that 2-4. So and that's the thing with tennis, it could change so quickly, the momentum can change so fast.
Well, it's not like before when the game was to 21 points. It's now to 11, you know. So he's going to have, Wong is going to have to try to ensure that Yuvraj doesn't, you know, get that spinning. And the best way for doing that is to play the ball very short without much spin, or himself to go on the attack. So it's 4.
Yeah, there's Dukram now bringing out the hammer. And again, showing his versatility there. He needed a little bit of finesse there on that occasion on defense to get that point.
But he's talented also, you know. So it's not going to be a walkover for you, Brad.
Take that.
Tell you that. 5-all.
What a response.
Right. You have a careless push there. And it's 6-5. That ball. Good reverse. Good reverse serve. Gets the point.
Yeah,
7-5. Wong seems to be flexing his knees. Probably was sitting down too much. Didn't get up and warm up before the game. Because I'm watching some of these players, you know, before you go to play, you should get up and go and warm up so that you don't come in cold. Oh, that's a good block by Wong.
Found Yuvraj too close to the table. Didn't give himself much room to work with there. Yeah. But he leads 8-6. Make that 9-6 now.
Yeah.
So this is really a bit of a hole here for Wong. He has to be so careful.
Yeah. Tried to rally that one, but wasn't successful. Tight again.
8-9 it is. Chance here now to knot things up.
Yeah, but again he served long and gave Yuvraj that big drive to go 10-8. And Yuvraj now serves to close it off.
For a 2-0 advantage here. And
he has done it.
Yep, there it is.
He used the reverse serve, which is an excellent choice.
Much better performance from Wong in this second set. But even then, he came up short 11-8. He lost the first one 11-2. Showed a lot more enterprise. We saw a little bit more of what he's capable of in the second set. But still, Yuvraj finding a way to get the job done.
Most certainly did. But that's why Wong is talented. Is whether or not he will be able to execute in this third game to pull one back. Because we have seen quite often people lead 2-0 and you know the other player get into stride and that's it, 3-2 before
you blink.
Yep. Roberts.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of the game of tennis, because you know, like when we were going to 21, it tended to be a long game. And it reminded a similar thing too with volleyball. Remember when you could only win on your serve in volleyball, and so you're. But now they've changed up the rules to make the games a little bit faster, a little bit more exciting as well. Here we go in the third one. First blood to Wong. It's going to be very interesting to see how he reacts to whatever Yuvraj throws at him early in this set. 1-2 it is. He has to be so careful here. You don't want to give Yuvraj anything easy at this point. He had some swinging room there. He just didn't make proper use of it. There he goes again, power against power there, but Wong a little bit long with his return, being ultra aggressive on that occasion.
Yuvraj very good with his short balls, makes good use of his wrists. Good reverse.
Good sequence here. It's almost like Yuvraj almost made a no-look pass there because he was almost turned around with that return. It kind of hustled him.
Top of the net, off the table. So, let's see.
5-4 serving Yuvraj. Dukram for Queen's Park.
That was an excellent play by young Colin Wong as he countered against that good drive from Yuvraj Dukram.
That's
net came
criminal.
into play.
Yep.
Apologizes.
Net and spin.
Yeah. Again, he makes very good use of his backhand. Picks up the ball. It's 7-5.
And it's not a kind of big backswing with the backhand. He just it's almost a kind of abbreviation, more wrist than it is anything else.
That actually is the modern way of playing now. Where the players are able to take up all the short balls with the backhand.
Good sequence there, but again, Yuvraj win. But there is the reply from Wong.
Loose shot, loose serve.
Whatever
Definitely.
you can do, I can do better.
Good reverse, good spin. Lovely sequence of play there.
So
and it's 7-8. Yep. Legends believe that they're in with a good chance here.
Edwards, Drew, urging him on.
And then that one doesn't come off and it's 9-7.
Yeah, those are the points you want back, if you can only get a redo.
No, not mid-table to Yuvraj. He's going to drive that away every day and also on Sunday.
Well, and he's 1 away now from a sweep here, a 3-0 deal and a victory to Queen's Park. There it is.
No, it's
11-7.
11-7.
Yep.
Congratulations to Queen's Park.
Yep, they've been able to prevail by a 3-2 margin. And based on what they did last night, coming into today, they're still perfect. They had 2 wins last night, and they have another one now. So that's 3-0 to the Parkites. So they would be very happy with their performance, and we certainly
I don't know if you're not Dave Williams. Dave.
So we are just waiting now to see. So we're waiting to see who they're coming up with on table number 1. Yeah, we just have a little lull in the action here as we get ready for another interesting battle. Power Gen against Crusaders coming up in a short while. Just let me take a look at what we had last night. Crusaders lost to Queen's Park in their first game, and they also took care of business against the Arima Table Tennis Club. So they're 1-1 coming into tonight. I'm joined by Mr. Dave Williams, himself a former player of some repute and national coach as well. And I was making the point to Mr. Hunt here about the who've done tennis for quite a number of years. I'm really so impressed with what I'm seeing from the players here, especially some of the younger players who are not afraid to take on the challenge of the veterans, the more wily players. And they're holding their own. They may not win the matches, but you're seeing capable play from them and winning crucial points as well.
Yes, Ruskin, you're so correct. And I think the younger players, when you look at them, they are the future and they have nothing to lose to start with. So they would take on the senior players and look to actually make the upset. When we look at players like this,
Young Henry?
yes, young Henry. He's an excellent player. He's fearless. They are fearless. They go for the attack. They
Well, Henry.
yes.
Yeah.
And that is what we look for. This is what we look for in the youth's perspective. They are the future.
Well, that's good, and I'm almost. I saw some of this tournament on television just last week. One of the international, I think Germany was playing. I'm not quite sure who they were playing, but this was like a final. And it went one way, then the next, and then it came back. They played the doubles, and it was just so interesting throughout. I was actually watching something else, and I just stumbled on that particular final was taking place. In fact, when I first saw it, I wasn't sure it was a final. I was just enjoying the tennis, only to realize at the end of the match, presentation was taking place, and we had a world champion.
Yes.
But what I saw there just showed me that the sport of tennis, I think if people, viewers, who probably have never come to a tennis match, and that's part of the reason why I was pushing so hard that we get the opportunity to bring it to people, that they get a chance to see. I've been speaking with Curtis for some time now. I mean, when I was at TDT full-time, I used to try to cover as much of the tennis as possible, but then that was just highlights, so a whole game like this people would not have seen everything.
Exactly.
But here they get an opportunity now to sit and watch a tennis match and to see the back and forth, the agony, the victory, the celebration, but then they get to see the ups and downs and the ebb and flow of the game of tennis. And for somebody who's played the sport, I mean, how important is it for you to be able to expose more people to the game?
Well, it is extremely important to expose people to the game. We need to market the sport a little more. Unlike football, basketball, the sport isn't really marketed. And I believe this exposure here will do a lot to the sport. We are looking at the future. We're looking at the young persons who might see this. They might see an Arun Rupnarayan, they might see an Aaron Wilson, and it would pique their interest there. And at that stage, yes, we get the younger ones in the sport, succession planning in the sports here. So I am saying, to answer your question, it is extremely important what is happening here, that the sport is being televised and more persons are watching the sport. So
We have 8 clubs here. We have 8 outstanding clubs here at this level. But there are other clubs in and about. And, and I'm really curious to see how, how the sport kind of develops and moves on, because it's one thing to get exposure, but it's also important now for players to recognize that there is something else. There's another level that they can go to. How often have we heard of, the sort of the Mamba mentality with Kobe Bryant? Almost every NBA player has a story about Kobe, and when you hear them speak about him, you understand how much work he put in, how not satisfied he was. As good as he wasn't prepared to just rest on his laurels, because he always felt that he could go another level. Of course, he was always trying to meet Michael Jordan. But in his mind, he felt he needed to outwork everybody else. But this is a great player we're talking about. This is not some rookie now coming into the league. This is a man who has already achieved so much, yet still he was prepared to put in the hard yards. And as a matter of fact, what I've realized is that there are a number of players now who, on seeing him up close and personal, not just seeing him on television, but watching him do what he does, how he goes through it. Now you have somebody like a Steph Curry that so many others are trying to learn from in terms of preparation, how he prepares. Everybody could put up 100 shots, but not everybody puts up 100 shots after a sprint, a full-length sprint to the floor. And there's one story that goes around now with Steph Curry, is that several players went to try to work out with him, and within 10 minutes they gassed, men puking all over the place. And and these are good players, these are great players, but they just don't have that mentality that Steph has. Now Steph Curry lifts after a game. Like, he puts in a full workout in the weight room after a game. And that might be a game he scored 30 or 40 points. He works out before games. On his off days, he's in the gym. In the off season now, he's still in the gym. Of course, you see him playing golf and having a good time. But what they don't show you is the 3 hours that he might put in before he even goes on the golf course or what have you.
You are so correct there, Ruskin. That mental aspect of the game is so important. So I say mental aspect because it takes a certain mentality to, after playing a game, jump into a practice session, sweating again. So most persons, they won a game, okay,
time to relax.
It's time to relax. No, that would separate the good from the great.
Right.
That mentality, and we see it with most of the top players, and I can reflect on the late Dexter St. Louis,
Right.
and I can give you a little history with Dexter. Dexter would have played in Tunapuna Tigers on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. When he finished there at about 3 o'clock, he would go down to Crusaders in Woodbrook and he would play until about 7, 8 o'clock. And then he would go home. And he and some others, Courtney Pugh and others, would practice in Shogunas. So with that sort of mentality, with that sort of drive, you wouldn't produce nothing less than a champion. So in light of what you said about Kobe, we are seeing it in other players. We can even look at the Chinese. The Chinese, they practice sometimes 3 times a day. They would have a tournament going on, and while that tournament is going on, they would be doing their normal day-to-day practice in the tournament. So there we have it, the mentality.
It's across all sports, you know. And I mean, we're focusing on table tennis here because this is a big tournament, and we see some outstanding players, both from at home here, from a couple from Guyana, a couple from Barbados, and but I know as this tournament continues to grow and develop, we're going to get more players coming from other countries as well, wanting to be a part of the action, and you know, recognizing that the standard of play is particularly high, and that they can benefit from this kind of exposure. You know, so I'm really curious to see, you know, where the sport is 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, and also to look at some of these, pencil in some of these names here, and see how they
develop as
they go. Because I mean, we were hearing about Arun, you know, and Wilson and Aaron for, you know, for quite some time, and we saw the potential in them. You know, it's how now do we kind of take that talent and, you know, move it forward, bring it to another level, as the case may be. And I know part of the issue has always been competition.
Correct.
Competitive
competition.
Yeah.
Yes, you're correct, Skip. Another part of it, I think, has to do with the coaching. Our players, we are at a disadvantage because we don't play at a professional level. We have to do our 8 to 4 work, and then we have to come and practice.
And play. Yeah.
And that is the disadvantage. Now, looking ahead, I think we need to probably train some coaches. You know, normally you hear, well, let the players go outside. But if we invest in coaches here, then they can take the sport to a different level. So you're not taking your players and send them out. You're investing in your coaches here, and they are the ones to take the players to a different level. I think that should be a focus.
Well, we have examples of that because think of what we have in Jamaica. You know, their college, so to speak, is really a coaching factory.
Correct.
You know, they produce coaches. They provide them with all the technical assistance that they need. And then those same coaches, they go back into the primary schools, secondary schools, and they hone their skills. They develop, they work on their technique. They now have all this information, but you need somewhere, some outlet to grow and develop and to hone your skills, so that, you know, you're working with material and you're trying things to see what works, what doesn't work. But then you already have a blueprint. Because you have coaches who are homegrown, and so they have done it a particular way. You could easily look at their blueprint and say, okay, fine, this is working. But now as an individual, you may say, well, maybe if I tweak this, I might get a slightly different result. You're not discarding anything, but you're just tweaking certain things to try to enhance what you already have. And so like I said, maybe to kind of build on what you were saying, is that I was happy to see that we have this MOU that we signed with the Jamaicans, and of course, football would probably come to mind. Track and field,
Track and field,
is probably where they started, and that is kind of like the big shiny object. But what is to stop table tennis from benefiting from an exercise like that? Maybe we need to look at what the Cubans are doing, and see how best we can utilize that. I know we've had a bit of a Cuban influence at times,
Yes.
but we really haven't been able to sustain it over an extended period of time and make it national, truly national in scope, so that everybody can benefit. And because you don't know where the next Texas St. Louis is going to come from.
Exactly. And when we look at our raw talent, as you rightly pointed out, now we have the Aarons, we have the Aarons, and then down the road we have the
We just saw Joel,
Joel.
Henry,
We
and
also
some of the
have
others.
we also have the youngster that beat, his name isn't coming to mind right now.
But we
who
just- but look
defeated
about-
Fali.
Yeah, look at Imani, who's
Imani,
played well.
Joshua Maxwell, who defeated Trevor Fali. We have those players. Those players have raw talent. We just have to harness that talent.
And, but
Even that youngster who is not playing right play, but there's life.
players have to do. So we just standing by here as we get ready for the start of the next game. And as you can see, we're looking at legends just warming up here. Powergen on the far side also getting themselves going. But as soon as we have a next match ready to go, we'll be back short. Remember, we're live here on 360 TV covering the amazing tournament, the insurance company of the West Indies Table Tennis Champions League for 2023, right here at the Center of Excellence in Mokoya. featuring, as you could see there, Anthony Sandfly Brown from Crusaders, whose back is to us here in the grey. And of course, Rod Singh is the man from Powergen. And immediately, Anthony, the man we call Sandfly Brown, Williams. And Dave, this is an interesting battle here, Powergen and Crusaders.
Yeah, well, it's a really interesting battle. This first match, now we know of Anthony Sandfly Brown, former national champion on several occasions. But I think he's up for a challenge here with Mr. Rod Singh, who has been really playing well over the past couple months. So let us see if he can stand the might of the mighty Sandfly with his powerful forehand loop drive.
We'll see what happens in the end. I was just looking at how he fared last night, and in fact he didn't get to play against Legends because that one ended in 3, and he lost his last contest to Darren Douglas.
Yeah, Darren defeated him really, really badly. I think now Darren is an exceptionally good player who right now has form. Recently came back from El Salvador, where he really performed well in El Salvador. Rod, on the other hand, is a pretty good player against Tony at this point in time. But as we can see, Tony has already galloped in front. So.
And he's not the kind of player that you want to give too many easy opportunities to.
Correct. So I would have mentioned about his forehand, and you just saw it there.
Yeah, and again, Anthony Brown is a name we've been hearing for so many years.
Yes.
I remember him coming up as a junior, and then getting on to the national junior teams, then on to the senior teams, which was like a natural progression for him.
Yes, yes.
And here he is now, one of the veterans in the sport.
Actually, he is into coaching now a lot. So he has some youngsters that he is dealing with. Now, that you wouldn't want to give him that shot at all. Keep it away from
His
there.
forehand, yeah.
Yes.
But you could see him really getting that full swing
Yes.
in, especially on the forehand. He's not afraid to, there he goes again, he's not afraid to really crank it up.
Perfect technique.
He missed on that occasion, but you could see it was right there and he was going for it. 6-9 it is, and
Look
there
at
it
that.
is. Make that
There it
6-10. Yep. The old radio station, boy. 6-10.
6-10. I think Rod has to change his whole game strategy. He cannot just give Anthony that forehand shot. He has to keep it away from him as much as possible. No.
And there you go.
Good.
And he did it once, he did it twice, and then third time lucky there for Sandfly Brown,
Yes.
as he took that one comfortably in the end. 11-7 is the final score. Umpire Frank Worrell.
What I will think Rod would do, or what they would tell Rod to do, is to probably keep the ball as deep on Sandfly's backhand as possible. And when he makes his shot, Sandfly, 90% of his forehand goes to your forehand as a right-hander. So cover the forehand immediately. So there, Rod would have, the last point, Rod would have, as you rightly said, blocked 2 of Sandfly's shot. But he moved, thinking he would have moved the ball. No, he wasn't going to move that ball.
That's all, and again, because he's so experienced, he knows how to maneuver his opponents on the table,
Yes.
and
yes.
by strategically placing the ball,
Exactly. Pretty smart player.
Yep.
Knows where on the racket to hit the ball, at what timing to hit the ball.
So here is Rod with a nice return, a nice forehand of his own, fighting fire with fire, one would say.
So we see now that Rod seems to be a little more aggressive.
It's one apiece. But then when you're a defensive player, sometimes it's difficult to transition or to switch.
Yes.
It's not an automatic thing. People feel it's easy, but it's not easy because when you're accustomed playing the ball here, more like a block, all of a sudden now you're trying to change your whole body setup.
Exactly.
Changes.
Well said. Correct. Correct. That transition from a defensive mode to that offensive mode. The whole, see, forehand, down the forehand.
And again, you have to figure out, apart from your strengths, you also have to figure out what your opponent's strengths are and where not to put the ball.
Exactly.
When you're dealing with Anthony Brown, you don't want to put it on his forehand. But again, he's so clever. Sometimes he positions himself. He runs around the ball.
Correct.
Quickly.
So right now, what Rod is doing is just feeding him.
And hoping that he misses.
Correct.
Which he doesn't do too often.
Experience.
Yep.
Really, really experienced and talented player.
He races out to a 5-2 lead. Already winning the first set. And but again, it's because he's so heavily reliant on that forehand, especially that's like his money hand. He wants to win all the points on that side. That's brilliant.
Yes, brilliant
coming
shot
from
here by
Singh
Rod.
there.
What we are seeing is when Rod takes the initiative of the attack, he is winning that point. So as the game goes along, he would need to take that initiative early and take away that attack from Anthony Sanford there.
Here we go again, and just missing with that return. So that was a kind of a reversal of roles there.
Yes.
Singh was the aggressor, and Anthony was the defender.
There Anthony placed a very smart ball, and Rod was away from the table. He didn't come into the ball as quick as possible. So hence the reason for his mistake there.
Trying again, forces Anthony Brown around the table, and that's a good strategy because, again, I think Anthony is aware that he's probably trying to feed him on the backhand side.
Yes.
But his body position on the table, if you look, he's almost poised. His body is angled in such a way that he could shuffle.
Correct.
And still get it on the forehand. So it will be interesting to see how they move, and that again on the backhand is where you have a good chance, or into the body.
Correct.
Is where you have a chance at least.
And he has to pick up the attack as early as possible. Pretty short serves and pick up the attack. He needs to do that in order to give himself a chance against Anthony.
Back-to-back points there on the backhand side for Singh, tying it up at 7 apiece.
Beautiful push. A beautiful push there. However, he didn't follow up.
Yep, and that's the kind of the cardinal sin. Back-to-back gifts, really. Now he finds himself down 7-9.
A beautiful top spin there. Being the aggressor, he sees that he has to be aggressive. Can't give him that shot.
And again, you could see him getting into position and waiting, and because the hammer is cocked and he's just
it's
ready
like
to unleash.
He knows where it's going to come.
Just missing on that occasion, but it was there, and but Singh is within one.
I think Anthony would try to serve a half long ball to get Singh to push. Beautiful serve.
And there it is, and again he won the first at 7. He won the second at 9. So Anthony Sandfly Brown and Crusaders are leading by a 2-0 margin.
Now there you saw that last point. You saw experience. Sunfly knew that Rod wanted to take the attack. A half-long ball with a lot of backspin. Rod had no choice. He went for the shot and realized that it's half-long, so he couldn't make a full shot. That's why it hit the top of the net, and that was it. Experience there.
So again, and of course, I suppose the challenge for Crusaders is after Anthony Sunfly Brown is another youngster who I think has a bright future. But Malik Gopal, I think, is the one they're going to be looking to probably win 2 games if necessary.
Yes. Earlier when we were talking about players, upcoming players, I was trying to remember Malik's first name. Exceptionally good player, recently came back from France with Chloe, and so far he has been outstanding in the tournament. He has had some really, really good wins. So let's see what he'll do. Most likely he is favored to over.
At least in one of his 2 matches if needed.
Yes.
And but I'm sure he would like to win his next match because he's coming up next against Anson Lauki.
Yes. Now, here the thing about it there now, this tournament is structured in a way that players from the same club might be playing against each other because
Right.
they're allowed
to
to go in to play another club. Anson Lauki and Malik, they play in the same club.
Right.
So they know each other also.
But we've seen so much more of that now because you have franchise cricket.
Correct.
Players who normally would play against you, all of a sudden they get drafted and they're playing with you. And so it's just par for the course. Here we see another ball is on the court, so they're going to have to redo that point.
As you see, Rod has taken a 3-0 lead.
Which is a good sign. It means he's aware of what is needed here, what is required. And he's trying his best here to try to force see if he could force a 4th game, maybe a 4th set.
A 4th, yes. Let's see if he can do it. I think he has the capacity to do it. However, he has to play smart. Anthony is not a player who's going to just give you points or give you a set. Beautiful shot.
Again, off that forehand, he has so much range with that forehand. I'm sure Singh thought he had him beat there.
Yes.
Because he had it well away from him.
Beautiful push. Very enthusiastic youngster there.
Yep.
On Crusaders bench. I understand he's a pretty good upcoming middle player. Brown was telling me about him quite recently.
And it's so good for them to see him playing.
Yeah.
Because the things he's telling them or asking them to do, now they're watching at him doing it.
Correct.
So it gives them a better sense of what it is he's actually asking them to do. And they trust him more because they're seeing him do it. So they trust what he's telling them. And and that is so important when a coach is trying to explain things, techniques, and
so they're getting a visual now exactly of what is happening, or what he's telling them.
Yep. And that's why I say they can trust him more. It's a quickly 7-5 now. Sunfly Brown still holding his own here, trying to close this one out. But Singh not going away without a fight.
Correct. I don't think Sunfly would actually want to carry this match any further. For one, fitness.
True.
Because when you start coaching, your coaching, it takes away from your practice time. It takes away from fitness. And should the match go,
the longer it goes,
Rod has the advantage.
6-8 it is now. He has a chance here to close that gap a little bit more.
I would call that a very erratic shot from Singh.
He has to be aggressive, but it has to be tempered aggression.
Correct. Like beautiful shot.
Yep. And again, coming off that forehand as well. Not the first time we've seen him with a winner off the forehand. So it tells me that he can make the shot.
Correct.
The problem he faces is that Sunfly Brown is so strong on his forehand as well. And he got away with that one there, but he keeps feeding him on his forehand, daring him to make the shot.
Exactly. Now Rod cannot do that. You cannot give him the shot and hope for Sunfly to miss.
Yeah, or at least miss repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
He might miss one or two,
Yes,
but
not repeatedly.
Yep. So there it is, 8-9 or 9-8 it is with Brown serving.
Misses.
Yep, it's all tied at 9 now.
Now you can actually see Brown by his body action
Yep,
there.
he looks bewildered.
Yeah, exactly, by that miss.
How could I have missed that?
And he knows that is putting him in a little under some pressure right now. So with Rod serving at 9-all.
Yep.
So beautiful push there.
He got it back, and Singh gave it back to him now. Let's see if he could keep it going, get it tied up at 10. And no, he
And he
can't,
finishes
because that's
it.
it. 11-9 is how the third set ended. So it's 3-0 there to Sunfly Brown.
Yes.
And in a lot of ways, I'm not too surprised. I probably am surprised at the margins, but 7, 9, and 9 suggests that Singh, there is some quality there.
Yes.
And
yes,
he just
yes,
needs to be a little more consistent
yes.
in his play, especially in some of those middle points where you know you're in the game, but then you just kind of lose your focus a little bit, and
Exactly.
before you blink,
Yes.
you're
That's it.
trying to play catch up here now and trying to avoid a defeat or losing a set or something like that.
I think a critical point there was when he made that erratic shot. That would have, instead of the score being 9-all there, the score would have been 10-9 in his favor. And there he would have had a little more flexibility in the other 2 points. However, at 9-all, serving, Anthony would have known exactly what to do. 2 deep pushes down his backhand. And ended it there, right there quickly.
Here we have another battle royale, if you want to call it that. And of course, for the Power Gen team, and to the right of your screen is Anson Lauki and the youngster Malik Gopal.
A little history of Skin Malik recently came back from France. He's in a training camp in France, and I think he has improved a lot. He has improved a lot. So in the national tournament that recently ended, he did well in both the juniors and the seniors. So it would be interesting to see him play against his own clubmate here now, who knows his style. But I would give him the advantage because Ancelotti hasn't been practicing that much. So he should be a little sharper.
And of course, as a youngster who would have had his eyes open on the international stage, working at a camp, with a lot of foreign coaches and players who he sees probably around his own age, but who are probably so much more advanced, who
Yes.
further along in their development than he is. So he has an idea of what kind of targets he has to hit in order to become
Yes.
a top player. So here we go, quickly. Lauki serving against Gopal. Powajan and Lauki taking that first point, and point number 2 as well.
Yes, good start there by Lauki. He knows he has to try to penetrate Malik early.
And this is what I think, this is where Loki probably has to be smart. If he just keeps the ball in play, maybe 1 or 2 shots longer,
Yes.
and force Gopal to have to try to win the points.
Correct.
Play on his patience a little bit more. And, if he makes a good shot but you return it, force him to make a
A
second,
second shot.
or a third, as the
Correct.
case may be. And just like that, return his big shots and then force him to keep making big shots
Correct.
as you go along.
Play an extra ball
Yep.
every time.
You're playing on the young man's patience there, and,
Yes,
and
yes.
you're giving him food for thought.
Again, if you really look, you can see he knows Malik. He knows his plays. He knows what he's going to do, it would seem, because they practice together.
And quickly it's 8-1 in favor of Loki. Make that 9-1 now. And Malik Gopal having a hard time getting going. That will help a little bit.
Sometimes also Ruskin. He knows Loki. Sometimes, you play with someone who, at a point in time was better than you. And you have that mental block. You have that respect for them. That it actually freezes your game. I am wondering if that is happening here.
Well, he's quickly behind the 8 ball because Loki has jumped off to a big victory here, 11-2 to take the first set.
Let's. He's being coached by Chloe.
And I think when you really look at it, it's Sanford Brown is probably just allowing them to
Yes.
to kind of take turns at trying to work out situations for themselves without him being constantly there,
Yes.
guiding and cajoling and directing things. He's giving them the information. Go ahead and play. And now Chloe, who found herself in that situation and got the advice on how to work it out, and now she's imparting that same knowledge or
Yes.
what she's observing
Yes.
on her. Now, you don't find too many youngsters brave enough to do that, but Chloe, in fact, Sanford is giving her that responsibility.
Yes, and it's really good to see a young player working out and actually coaching another young player. So it shows a level of maturity, and it brings that. It gives experience as you go along. It would serve her well in her game also.
It's an understanding. She has an understanding of what is required in those situations. But again, just like in the first set, Loki is jumping off to an early lead.
And if you look at the body language of Malik, you can see he isn't. Just his body language alone can cause him to even drop further down in the game. He needs to pick up himself and go.
He knows that some of those points he can do better with them, and I think what would help him is if he used to win a few points
Correct.
of his own, not the ones Loki gives him, but the ones he wins for himself. And I think that is what is probably most frustrating for him at the moment.
Yes. Yes.
Nothing he's trying seems to be coming off.
So Loki has him just his back against a wall, and his body language isn't showing. It's giving Loki more fuel.
Yep.
That body
And that's without that's without him doing anything.
anything. So he's giving Loki fuel. He needs to control that body language.
He's just playing his game and forcing
Yes.
his opponent to try to play his game, but right now he's having a hard time
Yes.
getting on track here.
As you rightly said, if he was to get a couple points
Off his own play.
off his own play,
Yeah,
it would build his confidence.
yeah, the 2 points he has in this game so far are in fact 2 unforced errors on the part of Loki.
Correct.
And you see, so nothing he tries is working, and I think that's the little frustration that you're seeing from
Exactly.
him. But he knows he can do better.
And that is where you see the maturity in players. This is where he has to settle down and focus.
Yeah, all he needs is 1 point here, 1 point there, just to
Exactly.
build confidence. But that's another fantastic win for Lauki, as Anson Lauki jumps out to commanding 2-0. Really won the first set 11-2 and is winning the second one 11-2 as well. So 2 pretty impressive wins for him.
I would say that Malik lost the game, to be totally honest. He just played. He just had a racket in his hand and was just hitting the ball. He was no tactic, no strategy, nothing. And Lauki just took advantage of it and ran away. So, but let's see what will happen now. I believe that should Malik jump about 2-3 points early, we will have an interesting match.
Yeah, he has to find a way just to get something going. If it's just his serve, maybe serve a few aces or something, just to see if he could just get some confidence.
Yes.
Right now, I think he's short on confidence,
Exactly.
and it's affecting all aspects of his game. Even simple forehand that he probably would make in his sleep,
Yes.
he can't get it on the board. Backhand shots that you think he would welcome. He's still not able to take advantage of those.
So true. Well, let's see. Start of the third game.
And again, loud applause for him. And that's back to back.
Back to back.
Yep, for him.
This has turned in this game.
He's quickly off the 2-0 lead, something he's not enjoyed so far. Make that 3-0.
Now I'm wondering if the support has anything to do with it also, because it's a little loud now.
Yep, and they know he can play, he can do better. So they're just asking him to, they're trying to urge him on.
Yes.
The 12th man.
But what he has to do now is maintain that lead. Should Lauki creep up on him, I think the door can close there very quickly. Again, we see his body language.
And again, I'm sure in his mind he's trying to work it out. What it is he's doing well, what he's not doing.
Yes.
Why are these things not coming off? And but a 6-2 lead is a good cushion for him.
There we see it. Now we are seeing a different Malik there with that forehand pickup that he just made.
And going for the big shot there, but just missing. But I don't think he could be too down on himself by that. He was actually attempting a shot.
Correct. What I noticed in this game is that he has tricked Lauki with a lot of his serves. His service has improved a lot. Anson is reading it. And that is a mistake younger players make. If you are winning with a serve, do not stop using the serve.
Right.
And
If it ain't broken, don't fix it until he could show you that he could defend it.
correct.
So he's up 9-4 now, 2 points away here. Make that one away, 10-4. Chance here to bring it down to 2-1 on sets, and he does that.
So the difference in that game, as I indicated, that what I saw is his services. His services were a little more on point, and Anson Lauki could not read it as well as he did in the first two games. So that should give him some confidence going into this fourth game.
Chloe's coaching away. They're trying to keep him on an even keel and just to keep momentum
Yes.
going. And you could just see Sunfly Brown just kind of eavesdropping. And then he would probably just reinforce what Chloe was telling him all along. That this is not impossible. You can come back.
You can do it.
Yep. He just has to believe that himself, you know.
And Chloe also trains with Malik in France. So they have that bond also.
So a good first serve from him. And there it is. And again, that is the confidence builder there. Because now he knows he can win off his own play, win points.
As I said, I don't know if at the start the respect for Anson Lauki as a senior member of his club would have played a part in how he played, but he seems to be out of that shell now.
Yep. Every man for himself now. 3-1. They got 4-1 now. Lauki there with a chance, but probably rushed it a little bit. But you could just see a big
Beautiful build up of a point there. Build this point really nicely.
even Lauki had to acknowledge that shot.
If you notice, when Malik serves, he wins his 2 points. When Lauki is serving, he wins his points. So I think the difference would be when they who takes a point off of the other person's service. That would make the
Chance here now to try to put something on the board here. They're tied up at 6 apiece. So this is really the money time here.
this point here can make a big difference.
You don't want to spot him too. And just as we were thinking, you don't want to give him any. Let him win it.
Let him earn it.
Yep. Now can Lauki shut the door? Just missing, but again, good defense.
Good defense, good defense. Just barely missing the table.
Yep.
But at this stage, you won't want to be in a defensive mode.
And again, just doing enough here to stay in the point. And he's within one. So he's not out of the woods here yet, the youngster. And still with a chance here. He had it.
A bit of luck there for Anson Lauki.
So Lauki can close it off here now. He's leading by 2 games to 1. And no. So he's back within 1.
Let's see where the nerves.
Just coming up short there.
Coming up
So 11-9 is the final. And so it's Lauki who takes it by 3-1. But again, you could just see the young man grow as the game went along, unfortunately for him.
Started a little too late.
Yeah,
So.
yep. He was down 2-0. It ended in favor of Lauki. And now it's Josiah Joseph against Kosi Rouse.
This can be also a very interesting game with Josiah having been very fearless against the older players. He's a pretty good upcoming player. Very, very good player. And he has some international experience having traveled with the junior team.
So Rouse is the tall figure. And you can just see both men here just trying to get loose, get warm, and getting ready for battle.
So this is the time when the nerves, when you're warming up, but when the nerves tend to step in a little bit when you go. And as the game goes on, you tend to lose that sort of nervousness. But
And it's interesting because when I look at you have Rob Singh, and we just saw Anson Lauki. We have Josiah Joseph getting ready. We have Amir Mohan to come. And then, if needed, Lauki is going to come back and play the 5th game for them. On the other side, we saw Anthony Brown. We just saw Malik Gopal. And Kosi Rouse is on there. And Malik Gopal is going to get a second chance. So they're actually investing in the young man.
yes,
You know, giving him a chance to lead the team.
they're using him as a strong player. So, and rightly so. I am looking also at the far table where Trevor Farley is playing Edwin Humphreys. Interesting
Already
game.
won that first set.
Yes.
He won it big as well.
And he seems to be edging ahead. Serve there. Josiah completely beaten by that serve.
And it's so good to see them mixing it up, trying different things, you know, while you try to stay in the moment. But you also have to be very thoughtful
Yeah.
and how you approach things and where you think you can win points.
And it's a good thing to see juniors thinking for themselves. So out there, every point you think for yourself. And I think that is what separates the mediocre junior from the good juniors. That ability to figure out your game whilst you're playing. Not just when you come to the coaches.
So Rouse with a good forehand there, and as we've seen all along, he lives by that forehand. He's probably going to die by it as well. But he's not afraid to give it a big swing. Joseph has to be careful. You don't want to spot him too many easy points.
That's a good block by Joseph.
Rose thought he had the winner there.
I think Joseph needs to build his points. He's trying to win his points a little too quickly. Going for the big shot. He needs to build his points.
See the coach just tell him just to temper it a little bit and stay in the point. Don't try to win it
Yes.
with the first shot every time. 6-8.
That's exactly what he has to do. Stay in the court.
7-8 now, so he's right within striking distance here. Just needs to keep going. Josiah Joseph.
Very smart play. He didn't go for the big shot. He chose to just slow the ball down and ensure that the shot came on.
Yeah, it's like controlled aggression on his part. You know, there's sometimes you can go for broke, and other times you
Yes.
kind of just keep the ball in play. That's that rocket serve.
Rocket serve there by Nkosi Rouse. Let's see if Josiah has any answer of his own.
Yep. 10-8, 8-10, and make that
Beautiful
9 to
serve.
10. And now we're all tied at 10 apiece, and that's a good rally.
Youngster composed himself well there.
And would you believe it, he missed it completely. So he goes ahead now 11-10. Remember, you have to win by 2, clear. And he does.
Well done. Composed himself well and eventually take the win.
So that's 12-10.
And I see that he's being coached by his father on the far side.
And that always helps when your father is a coach. You get instructions all the time. And I
Even
suppose, well, there's the thing, and sometimes you know, as a parent who's a coach, you now have to figure out when you're going to be dad and when you're going to be coach, you know. And I suppose just as much as it is a challenge for the child, it could be a challenge for the parent also.
Yes.
Because you don't ever want to come over as being the coach all the time. You know, sometimes, you know, he just wants you to be his dad. And,
That
you know,
is so true.
and then, you know, they expect you to do certain things a particular way. And, you know, things that coach won't do, or that coach not supposed to do, but a father would do, you know. And those are just, and that's how people will interpret it, you know.
Yes. So we're about to start the second set.
It's 1-0 to Joseph, and Rouse is going for the broke again.
Again, to reiterate, if you look at Rouse, you see some of Anthony Sandfly Brown.
Especially on that forehand.
Yes.
He lived by the forehand.
That was a beautiful shot there by Joseph. Rouse completely beaten.
He's quickly up 2-0 now, trying to maybe open up a great lead, and that's brilliant.
Brilliant shot.
Yep. Forehand for forehand here now.
I would not be surprised if I see an early timeout for Rouse here. Josiah is using Joseph is using a good plan. He's stabbing the ball down and Kosi's forehand, getting him to turn and loop, and then blocking it wide. So it's a good plan.
We're trying to keep it away from the forehand. So even if he has to swing, he has to swing so wide.
Yes.
You may not be able to control it all the time. And they say sometimes it's a game of inches. And so you just want it an inch wider than normal.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, good serves.
See when he swings and he hits wind, how it feels.
Beautiful pick up there by Joseph.
Yeah, he's already taken control of this game now. He's up 6-1.
His confidence is really building, if you look at it there. And of course, Rouse has to do a lot. He has to dig deep.
Yep, to try to get back in the game here now.
And that's one of the things Ruskin with these youngsters. Don't let them get a lead on you. They just swing the hand, they go all out.
Yeah, they're confident. Once
Yeah.
they know or they feel they have the upper hand,
You're
they're
in
not backing off.
Yeah, you're in trouble. So what Rouse needed to do is to just cage him early, which he didn't.
Now he has a fight on his hands here.
Good shot.
The thing is, as a coach, there's so much material for you to work with, for both players. It's just who can put it together in match play. That's brilliant. Again from
flick
Joseph. Not afraid to go on that, go out wide on that forehand side. There he goes again. This time the
Beautiful block by
Rouse
Rouse.
was there and waiting.
Now let's see if Rouse he has that metal to come back here.
He cannot. Then
Cannot.
that's 2-0 in favor of Joseph,
Joseph.
winning the second set 11-6 for a 2-0 lead.
Again, it will be extremely hard for Rouse now because Joseph has that 2-0 lead. He has confidence. He's a youngster who has nothing to lose. So Rouse has to really dig deep. Let's see the quality of player Rouse is here now.
Yeah, this is the critical stage here because not only is he in danger, being down 2-0, Crusaders could very well go behind
Yes.
2-1 in these games. So they need to. I think they have to impress upon him how much is riding, on this particular game here.
Exactly. No, it's a danger in that also because in impressing on him how much is riding on this game, you put pressure on him. So they have to be very careful what they do there. You have to let him know that yes, there's a lot, but there's no pressure on you. Play your game.
Yeah, and I'm sure Joseph will be thinking, boy, let me just try to finish this here
Yes.
as quickly as possible as we get ready for the third set. Rouse serving.
Joseph making some very good pushes there.
Not much height off the net, and so you have to kind of dig onto the table to return them.
Now, Joseph just did something there. He ran off of the table. He cannot do that. He has to stay on the table and dominate. The minute he starts going off the table, he would miss, Rouse would pick up the attack, and he would be on the defense.
Well, I think he's probably also trying to cover the speed at which Rouse can return the ball sometimes. So he's trying to give himself maybe a split second more.
And that could be very... The split second more is that when he makes a heavy push, Rouse has no choice but to spin the ball. So it would not have that pace. So he needs to put that into perspective and play his game around that. Beautiful spin.
He will be caught in two minds there and trying to go for the block, but he's trying to block it on the backhand side.
Joseph has taken the lead.
Yeah, 3-6 it is now.
A lot of net points there. Fortunate for Joseph.
7-3.
Oh. Barely missing.
So I think he has 1 point at a time here now for Rose.
Now, Joseph has to be careful with some of those shots he's making because it can, once Rouse comes within that 2-point lead, he's in the game.
Yep. Here he is within 1 now, tying it up at 7-all.
You see Anthony Sandfly Bong guiding him. Oh. In table tennis terms, you'll call that he missed a sitter. Ball
And
was
it was
high,
there.
the ball was there
It
to
was
hit
right
him.
there, and that on his favorite side too. On the forehand this time, a more difficult shot.
He got
And he executes it well.
good, tied it up.
And again, I think he's learning that not everything has to be the big blast. He can still win points in other ways.
Correct. Point.
But you can't give it back to him that easy. You have to be concentrated at all times.
Beautiful loops there by Joseph.
That's brilliantly done again by Rouse. Staying alive here now. He's within 1. It's 10-9. Joseph serving.
Tying it up there.
We're all knotted at 10 apiece here. And Rouse really clawing his way back.
Now, Rouse needed to serve that ball short to get Joseph to push. And that's it.
Yep, he was going for the big one, but he couldn't get it. 12-10 it ends. So Josiah Joseph making it 3-0 here and giving the Power Gen outfit a 2-1 advantage. And what it means is that the young man Malik Gopal gets a chance to redeem himself.
Yes.
Or Amir Mohan can clinch it for Power Gen.
Now, Amir again is another national junior player. So it would not be that easy for Malik. It would not be a walk in the park, so to speak. So let's see how it goes. Keeping in mind though that if Amir wins this, he ties it up. So
I suppose that's all the incentive that he needs, because I think he knows that the team needs him, and they're hoping that he can level things here 2 apiece and leave it for the young lady Chloe Fraser to be the hero. So clearly a fantastic night of tennis. We've seen some interesting matches. We've seen the veterans, but we've also seen the future of the sport on display as well, on full display.
full display. It is nice to see them all together, playing against each other, experience against youth.
And the format lends itself to every game and every set is important, because teams, want points. You want to win your matches. Queen's Park, though, looks like they're the team to beat again.
Yes, they are.
Just coming out of a national championships where they won there as a unit, and it just continues out here.
Coronage Blasters is one of their biggest rivals, and we cannot discount the team. Can't
Legends.
remember the name. Legends. You cannot discount Legends because Legends has a surprise. Legends has to just ride the wave because if they do make it to the finals, they will be joined by a Van Lange from Guyana,
Right.
an exceptionally good player.
That's
So-
the young man, the young cricketer.
Yes, the young cricketer. Yeah. Extremely good in cricket, extremely good in table tennis. So they just have to try to ride the waves right now.
So they tied at 1 apiece here now.
Beautiful shot by Malik. Proper setup.
This is, this is the sort of the confidence booster that he needs. We saw it in the latter stages of his last game
Yes.
when he had a low key. He actually took a game off low key, so that should give him some confidence coming into this one.
So you're seeing a different Malik here. You're seeing confidence. And it leads me to say again, I felt that his respect for Lauki played a significant role in his loss.
And here he is now, again, putting out that backhand and winning the point for a 5-1 advantage. He got 5-2, so he goes on the other side now. And he misses everything there. In fact, he hits the underside of the table.
Yes.
We're trying to be too cute with the, with the serve. It's 3-5.
Good shot there by Amir. Amir seems to be trying to work it out.
Another one of those rallies where you just have to try to keep the ball in play
Exactly.
as long as possible. Just like he's doing here, doing very well.
Beautiful defense. His defense is very strong. Malik Gopal, very strong defense. Yeah, see Chloe probably getting ready to warm up there.
Should she be needed?
Should she be needed.
And so it's all tied at 6 apiece here now. So this is still a crucial stage of this first game, first set. Both men already showing what they're capable of.
Yes, yes. I think, however, Malik needs to play a little more offensive and avoid that defensive play. Anytime he is too defensive, he would be at a disadvantage to Amira.
And again, they're both sort of gifting each other points.
Yes.
You know, and that is the irony of the situation here. It's just a scenario where both players have to be so mindful of how they play and how they manage situations here now.
Well, we
10-7, yep.
Malik jumped ahead there. Oh, fortune favors the brave.
Yep.
Huh?
And he had a good chance there of maybe closing it out, but he just clipped the net. And there it is. So
Good defense
eventually, yep. Eventually, this ought to do Malik a world of good. Because you could see him just kind of growing as he comes along, just growing in confidence,
Yes.
growing in stature. And there's nothing like winning.
Nothing like winning. The feeling of winning.
Mhm. You know, you tend to forget everything.
Yes. And if you watch at Malik's whole his attitude here is something totally different to what we saw in the first
Yeah, the
game.
body language
You
is
look at him. I think Amir has a tough game or two tough games ahead of him. I am wondering what Lauki is telling him at this point in time, what to do.
whatever he's telling him. He's hoping that it has to be like a fast start. It cannot be, you know, you fall behind and then you're trying to play catch up.
Yes. Play from in front, as they say.
Because now you have an opponent who's growing in confidence and probably a little more at ease with his own game.
As you rightly said, play from in front. You can actually see at the front an aggression in Amir's game right now.
And yeah, he's come out here smoking, as
Yes.
they say. Not worried about whether he misses or not. He's just going for his shots when he can.
Beautiful backhand there by Gopal Malik.
So these two youngsters really digging in here now, trying to get the better of each other.
Yes.
There you can really see a whole different outlook here now from.
One thing I can say,
Mohan.
when two juniors are playing, the game's sometimes more exciting than when two seniors are playing.
Yeah, because they'll make mistakes, but it also because they're going for shots and they feel confident against each other.
Yes.
So they will figure out ways to score points. Tied at 3 apiece here. Remember, Gopal was leading by 1 set to nothing. We're in the second set here now.
Oh, what a beautiful shot there by Gopal.
Again, it wasn't a big backhand. He just from right there, just that quick wrist movement. And,
Beautiful shot
yep,
there.
a different animal right now.
Yes. He is opening, he's on fire. He's firing on all cylinders at this point in time.
He lost his first game. He's trying to avoid doing so here, but he's off to a good start. Fourth, 6 it is. Mohan trying to get back in here and again aggression.
I admire Mohan's fight, that fight he has. He isn't giving up.
Yeah, both men are swinging for the fences here now.
Yes.
Really trying his best to get back in the game and really trying to beat his opponent into submission.
But Gopal isn't having that.
Yep, he's keeping his cool as well. You know, and continuing to serve well. I think that's the first thing that is working for him. That serve is pretty good. So 6-8 it is, and Mohan in with a chance here now to try to get close up.
He is one away at this point in time. Let's see.
This game getting really tight now. And with Mohan swinging the way he's swinging, you can see he's going for broke here.
Yes. And that's the beauty of juniors. They go for it, regardless of the score. Let's see.
So Mohan now has the lead at 9-8. Eight, 9.
Smart play there by Mohan.
So he's within 1 point now of tying this up. It's 10-8, and he has a chance to serve it out.
Going for broke there, but missing. Keeping Malik in the game.
It's within 1 now. You want to try to close this out here. And just missing.
Actually hearing Gopal grunting there with that shot.
A lot of effort going into these points now. So he's one more. So he's 11-10 here now. He has to win by 2 clear.
3 straight points there by Malik Gopal.
Gets him the advantage. So what does Mohan have by way of response? And there it is.
There it is.
So 12-10 in favor of Gopal. So it's a really interesting scenario here now. How does Amir Mohan respond? Going 2-0 down, 2 sets to love down, and in danger of losing out, and not only losing out.
Just a little clarification. It's Amir Mohammed. We were saying it all wrong. Mohammed and not Mohan.
Amir Mohammed rather, yeah.
I think that Mohammed could have won that game. It would be really tough for him now to climb out of that little shell that he was in, having a lead of a 10-8 and losing 4 consecutive points to lose the game.
Yeah, it's not what he expected. He clawed his way back, tied up the scores. I think they were level at 6, and then he kind of got a little lead, and but he couldn't close the door. And now he has some work to do.
Correct.
He lost the first set 8-11 and the second 10-12. Let's see what he does here now. Leading 1-0.
I mean, he is getting the shots, but
Execution.
the execution, missing them. And look at, and Malik, as you right, he's climbing just with contact. There we are seeing Malik's defense really strong.
And but he too, 5-4. Mohammed serving. He's down by a 2-0 margin. Really needs this one to avoid being swept.
His team is on his shoulders right now.
Because if Crusaders was to win here, they would level things at 2 apiece. And then we would see the very
Down his forehand and just there to execute. Amir is clawing his way still, keeping the fight.
Yep, it is, and this game is similar to the last one where they were tied at 6-all. Let's see if they take this one.
Just that his execution, as you rightly said, he is missing a
Sequence. There they go again.
rushing the board.
Tied at 8 once more.
Now I see Amir just looked at his racket, and I think that is something that the younger player. Now we have a similar scoreline as before, 8-10.
Just like it was in the last set, it was 9-10 at one point. Can Gopal bring it all the way back now to 10?
Good control by Malik.
Here it is once more, 10, because he can't believe that he repeated what he did in the second set all over again. Now, can he avoid losing the set? 12. And he wins it. Well,
I believe Amir Mohammed is going to have some nightmares tonight.
yeah, back-to-back sets.
Chloe is not a walkover. Pretty good player. She's right now the reigning women's national champion. That just last week, those 2 titles. So let's see if she can withstand the might of Loki's forehand.
And well, that's the big question here. And the question too, I would imagine for him, is how can he just stay in the moment? You know, forget who the opponent is. Just play the ball. You know, as much as possible.
Well, he should be experienced enough. And not just that. How can I not underestimate my opponent?
Right, and that's the and because you know sometimes you tend to play down to your opponent as opposed to play up to your standard. You know. But it would be interesting and to see if Chloe, what kind of a fight Chloe could put up here, and if she can do what many people feel might be
the impossible task,
which is to pull the upset here.
Yes. But again, she's a pretty good player, pretty smart player.
Yep. And I was telling you about the tournament I was looking at last week, and there were a couple of women in there who pulled off some astonishing results. Against players men who they probably weren't supposed to lose to.
Yes.
And they were still, they managed to come away with wins in those matches. So who knows? Maybe we could see some more of the same here.
I think one of the main things Loki has to do is not tell himself
the round of matches will not be able to play because we have to have cut-off time matches. So the matches that were supposed to be played for the third round is going to be played on Sunday. I will inform the club representatives in our WhatsApp group chat.
And so again, because of the time constraints, the third round of matches which was scheduled for tonight won't be played. I'll give you those matches in a little while as Chloe takes the lead here.
yes.
I think we were supposed to play this and Queen's Park against Arima. So those games will be played on Sunday because tomorrow is a singles tournament. Yep.
I was going to tell you before the announcement, what Loki has to do is focus on that the person and the player on the other side is not a female.
Yep.
He has to play like that is probably Malik. And bearing in mind now, Chloe, she was the one that was given Malik coaching against.
Against Loki earlier.
Yeah,
Yep.
so she has an idea exactly what she wants to do. Tough luck.
Yeah. But it's so good to see, and I would imagine all eyes are glued on this game just to see how she manages,
exactly.
this contest. Can she keep it close, or
Or would it be a
runaway? Yeah, or does she force Loki to do things that he doesn't want to do, and maybe become over aggressive, or does he go into his shell a little bit and just try to keep it tight? Good shot making and a good defense as well.
What I can say from experience is Loki needs to pull off a lead in all his games. he needs to avoid close scores, 9-all, 8-all.
Well, he just gifted her 2 quick points there.
And from some of the shots we just saw Chloe making, you can see that she is in the game. It would not be a walkover for Lauki.
So I think he probably just needs to keep his nerve here, keep his focus,
Yes.
and not allow too many things to get into his head, and just to play the game,
Exactly.
the game.
Exactly. Simple points. Win simple points. Pushes like that. Simple points. You need to win.
Again, she's keeping it close. 6-7. She serves. She goes on the backhand now.
Good spin. A very good setup there.
I really think this game has a lot of interest because people realize the potential of Chloe,
Yes.
and but they also know the magnitude of this game. This is a decider. So should she win the first set, that would put even more pressure on Loki, who just gifted her
Gifted her a point there.
at this juncture. That almost as bad as 2 points.
No. He seems to be winning his points with a heavy backspin chop that goes down to Chloe's forehand. Let's see what Chloe can do.
So we all knotted now at 9 apiece. And Chloe just
Yes,
trying
it-
to calm her nerves here.
He has to keep his calm also. Now, Chloe has a very good defense also, as you can see.
She has a what we call a low center of gravity.
Yes.
So she
Yes.
is able to maneuver in tight spaces. And but again, good return here and good way to close out the set. 11-9 it is to Lauki.
The quality of his shots are giving Chloe a lot of problems, especially when he comes middle to backhand.
Again, remember we are live here on 360 TV covering the second night of action of the insurance company of the West Indies Table Tennis Champions League for 2023, coming out here of the Center of Excellence in Mokoya. And we're into a crucial Game 5 here between Powergen and Crusaders. We all knotted at 2 apiece rather, after the first 4 games. And here it is, Anson Lauki taking a 1-0 lead over the talented youngster Chloe Fraser of Crusaders. So she, after some words of encouragement and some instructions from Anthony Sandfly Brown, who won his only game tonight, and it just shows you his level of confidence in the players. He could easily have said, I could be, playing 2 games tonight, but he opted for 1.
A beautiful start there by Chloe.
She did start the first set in similar fashion with a nice early rally, and now she's trying to push on here now.
It's interesting to see if Anson Lauki would change his game somewhat. Well, there we see he actually changed his serve, because this is the first time he used that serve. Now to the middle of the table, a sort of side spin, top spin. What a shot there by Chloe.
And to her credit, she's getting her serve in fairly consistently.
Yes.
So she's keeping pressure on her opponent just like that.
Now, Loki has to be careful again running off the board. Chloe's staying on the board and blocking him. So she would have full control. He needs to stay close to the table.
So it's 4-2 now in favor of Chloe Fraser. Just brimming with confidence right now. But she's down a set and she wants to.
Full serve.
Yep. She's getting that serving very frequently.
All sounds like it's broken.
Yeah, it looks
also.
like it burst, it popped
Yeah.
or something. He was really going for power there.
Chloe running up that lead. Loki, ball broke, of course. Now let's see if this little break can favor Loki.
I think they're just trying to see if they could get the pace of this ball. It's a new ball.
Smart serve there by Loki. What was winning in the first game? As you would say, Ruskin gifting her.
Yep, you're gifting her points. And if she's to win a couple of on her own serve, that puts you behind the 8 ball.
Again,
Not much you could do about that.
stroke of luck.
I'm taking that anytime. Yeah, she goes backhand this time. And even then, her serve is a good one. And the follow-up is even better.
Yes. She is stalling him with that deep backhand push. And then she is making that shot of her own, that attacking shot.
And again, she's like running him off the table now, pushing him around,
Yes.
you know, and really good, smart tennis.
Beautiful
They're even better. Because I'm sure Loki would have been thinking he had a point there, and she just took it away from him with that block.
showing that she has the talent. Ooh.
She probably changed her mind about 3 times there. It's the wish shot to play.
See if she can close it off.
She had it, but she missed it. It's 5-10 now. Or 6-10 rather. Chance for Loki here now, but he cannot finish it. And it's 11-6, 1-1.
So as we see there, Chloe's strategy is working. She's stalling Loki with that deep push down the backhand, seeing that he isn't making a backhand pickup, he's turning. And when he turns, she blocks wide, letting him go across. So
But it's so important for because it's all about learning, you know. While this is a competition, and but when she could play somebody like a Loki, who she knows, you know, is above her right now, and but she could take a set off of him. You know, think of how confident that how much of a boost that is for her. But now she has to control the emotion,
yes,
you know, but don't go into a shell.
correct,
Stay in the moment.
correct.
Keep going, you know, and let's see what happens. She got a nice talking to from her coach. And for the first time, she missed that serve.
Yes,
You know.
Let's see what Lauki came out with it. I think he is using what was winning him points in the
Earlier.
first game
Yep.
earlier. That down the forehand.
Yeah, sometimes it's better pretty lucky than good.
Yes. He started serving a lot down the forehand now.
See, and this is where the thought process kicks in.
Yes,
You
this
have
is
to be aware
strategy.
of what your opponent is trying to do to you and how you counter that.
Exactly.
So he quickly jumps out to a 4-1 lead. Make that 5-1. She misses the backhand completely.
Let's see if he will continue with those serves down her forehand, whether it be backspin or topspin. Then he changed it. So
And again, she's using that backhand to good effect. She does have a good backhand, although
Yes.
it cost her there. But she does have a good solid backhand.
solid.
It's fairly orthodox too. She's not trying to do too much with it. She's just trying to get the block in.
Very good shot. Very good point.
There she goes
Very
again
good.
with that backhand. And like I said, she's not trying to do too much. It's not a big backhand, but it is an efficient backhand.
Just controlling the ball and keeping it on the table.
And just like that, she was within one. Low key, feeling the pressure here.
Again, as I said earlier, when you find a way to win points, you don't change it. Lucky changed the serve from the forehand and started serving to the backhand. You don't do that.
But she's done well. She's come back nicely into
Yes.
this third set. It's all tied at 6. She's serving. And
Good shot down the middle of the table.
confidence is growing here now. That's a good block, good return from Loki there. Staying in the game. All tied at 7. This is the 5th and deciding one in this matchup. Power Gen against Crusaders, and Fraser just too soft with that return.
Then Lauki gifting her there.
Yep.
Again. The serve is on Chloe's
That's what
side.
you call those easy points.
Beautiful shot by Chloe. Lauki trying to keep calm.
She had it, but she missed it.
Spoke to herself that she said spin the ball. She knew what she has to do.
And she missed
She
a
missed.
golden opportunity there,
She missed.
and she missed it. It's set up nicely for her.
That miss can cause her this,
Yep.
this set. And there we saw
did.
Anslauki
Yep.
serving to the forehand, getting the shot and taking the game.
So he took the first set 11-9, lost the second 6-11, took the third 11-9. So we go to the fourth.
So we are seeing the might of this talented little young lady here, who has Ancelotti back to a wall, basically.
She's done well,
Yes.
and Lauki knows that he has to be very, very careful with her. She's a dangerous customer.
Yes, yes.
Very unassuming. Her expression doesn't change much other than that one moment where she kind of spoke out loud
Yes, when she stood, when
to
she said
herself.
spin.
Yeah. Other than that, she's been pretty even keel. She has a real poker face.
Yes, she does.
You
Yes,
know,
she does.
You're never quite sure what she's thinking. Her expression doesn't change much. Her body language doesn't change much. She's very even keel. 2-1 to Lauki. 1-0 to Fraser. Make that 1-1 now, and this is a crucial set. So she needs to win this one to knot things up.
That's a. It would seem like the block would have. The ball would have made contact with something other than the rubber.
Yeah, it just the sound when it came off the racket wasn't the normal sound.
Loki seems to be like he found a way, as I said, going on her forehand. She seems to be a little weaker down here, but what she needs to do is to move across a little more.
Again, setting it up nicely and then putting it away, getting it past her with a big forehand, and taking the lead 3-2.
Chloe, she's a very smart player. I would expect her to come around now. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful return there.
So Anson Lauki forced a stretch there for that one. And that's a brilliant return
Beautiful
there.
point there by Anson.
Because I'm sure Chloe Fraser thought she had won that point.
Yes.
And
Beautiful point.
she just kind of froze there. And then we need to see the ball zinging past her.
Ooh,
And that's the reply.
that's a beautiful
What a
shot.
response. Take that.
This is really setting up to be a thriller.
Yes, another interesting battle here. 5-4 to Lauki. He's serving. And the return, though, not over the net, but into the net.
Yes. Timeout by Sunfly.
Yep.
Brown.
It's a 2-point cushion there, 6-4 in this crucial fourth game. This fourth set here proven to be a real interesting one. Both players really pulling out all the stops here now.
Both teams relying on a win. So
Yep, they need a win here. One to win the tie, the other one to level things. Well, actually, we level it at all. This is to win it all.
this is to win it all.
Yep.
This is the decider.
Yep. We already had some good results. We saw Anthony Sunfly Brown beat Rod Singh 11-7, 11-9, 11-9 for 3-0 win on sets. Malik Gopal and Anson Lauki. Lauki won that 11-2, 11-2, 4-11, 11-9 for a 3-1 win. And Kosi Rouse came up against Josiah Joseph, and it was Joseph who prevailed 3-0. Here we go again.
A beautiful point there.
And just to finish that off, it was Malik Gopal winning 3-0 over Amir Mohammed to knot things up at 2 apiece, forcing this fifth and deciding game between Lauki and Chloe Fraser. Loki leading 7-5 here now. If he wins it, he wins the tie for Powergen.
Again, we see Chloe making some simple mistakes now with the backhand under some pressure.
Yeah, she wants to win it right away as opposed to playing the points.
Exactly.
You know, until she can set it up where she could win the point and not and eliminate risk as much as possible. But here she goes. Let's see if she can claw her way back now. She's down by 4, 5-9. That's one.
That's one, yeah. Let's see what answer Loki has.
That's two. Yep. 7-9.
Loki has the ball in his hands now.
It's 9-7. That's really pounding it out, you know, forcing her to adjust to the pace and the bounce. 10-8.
10-8. Can she claw back in?
Loki is 1 away. Chloe is 3 away, and she would need a little more than that. And she needs to do it on her serve.
This would have been a good time for Loki's corner to call a timeout.
And there he does, so he wins it.
That's it.
11-8. And takes it by 3 sets to 1. And it is Powergen who prevails over Crusaders 3-2 in the final analysis.
Exciting match.
Yeah, very interesting game as well, and it certainly sets up the rest of the tournament quite nicely. Once again, we had 2 other matchups scheduled for tonight that would now be played on Sunday. Is Legends against Smolter Crusaders and Queen's Park against the Arima Table Tennis Club. Those games will be played on Sunday. Tomorrow we have some more singles matches for you from just about 9:30 in the morning, and we hope you'll be able to join us for that. Once again, let me thank you so much for spending a little time with us here, Dave Williams, and no doubt I'm sure the observations here would have been very positive indeed.
Yeah, thank you again, Morskin. It was nice being here, and I look forward to being here again at some time.
No problem. Thanks so much again, and thanks also to Stanley Hunt, who was here earlier and giving us his expert analysis of the action. But as we leave you here, a big win tonight for Queen's Park, and of course over Legends, and then we just saw Powergen taking care of Crusaders. 3-2 was the final in that one. This is where we have to end it for tonight, folks. Look forward to your company again come tomorrow morning. Until such time, we hope that you have a wonderful night, and we'll see you tomorrow.